What is up, everybody? It is that time of the year. It's horror movie season, which people call it Halloween, even though it's like just either like trick or treating, or you watch horror movies,
Yeah.
or you do both. And today we're gonna be both talking about our top 30 horror movies, our top 30 favorite horror movies. And basically, how this is gonna work is you're gonna hear my list, which is obviously the correct opinion, and then you're gonna hear this man's list. I don't know what it is. I just know that it's not my list, so it's not right. But,
Exactly.
but anyways,
Why am I
without
wrong?
further ado, before any of this goes down, let's just get into the honorable mentions category.
Who's going
So
first?
okay, all right. So this is where you take it away. So
All right. So for my honorable mentions, I have Wolf of Snow Hollow, Scream, Halloween. Here comes the movie that I talked about before doing this. That looks Eterna by Gaspar Noé. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, looks Eterna. Cut of the Dead, The Host, the Bong Joon Ho one to be exact.
okay.
Yeah, because I know there's like 3 or 4 movies called The Host.
Mm.
Candyman, Train to Busan, Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, and
How do you?
the one that's gonna piss everyone off, Men.
Oh my gosh. I haven't seen that movie, but I feel like I wouldn't have that like anywhere near my top 30
I
like, at all.
This opinion has not be surprised. Not that many people have gone mad at me over this one,
Oh,
but I've had quite a few things about it where it's like I don't know. I don't see the hate for it. I think it's pretty like well done and very interesting and really interesting look on like abuse and stuff like that.
uh, well,
Like I don't know. Like I just watched like Barbarian last night, and people are treating that like it's a masterpiece. And it's like that movie is like people say that this movie's super like has nothing to say. Like Men has nothing to say and all that stuff. That movie's like 10 times worse. If we're talking
okay.
about movies that don't have anything to say, so I don't understand. I don't understand what horror movies are deep or not anymore to people.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the horror movies, like especially the ones I have on my list, most of them are not very deep at all. There's like a very few ones that are like introspective or anything. I feel like I don't know. I feel like people like say like, oh, like horror movies can be like really hollow or whatever, but I feel like a lot of them aren't really trying to be deep and meaningful. A lot of them are just trying to be stylistic, fun, and creative. But I guess it depends because it's like it depends on what the movie's going for.
Yeah.
If it's trying to like be deep and it fails, then like obviously it makes sense that the movie's probably not very good. But if it's trying to be something different, it's not attempting to be deep or anything like that, then what's the point of criticizing it for that?
I don't know. Anyway, you can do your top. Your like honorable mentions. That I did like.
To be honest, I don't really have like a planned honorable mentions for this thing. I was just gonna name a couple movies. Like his is a lot more organized, but I'd say one of my honorable mentions would probably be Get Out, which I know is a very generic pick.
It's good. I mean, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Like I think the commentary is pretty good. I love the anxiety, the tension that's built with the movie. I feel like I love movies that it's like you have no idea what's going on until like the ending, and it does a pretty good job at that. The commentary is very interesting. It's just a very interesting movie. I feel like the only problem I have with this movie is the I don't know how to explain it, but it's like sometimes it feels too on the nose with its commentary. Like it feels like it's too
Yeah,
on the nose with its
it's like
racism. Like the racism.
it's very clearly racism bad.
Very clearly. And sometimes it goes too far.
That's an issue I have with Jordan Peele. Other than Nope, Nope didn't really bother me with that, but like Us especially bothered me badly. Like it feels like he's trying really hard to be deep, but it's just not really deep. Like Get Out is good for what it is, but I wouldn't call it a deep film. It's like just a decent social commentary movie with some fun moments.
Yeah. it's just a pretty good creative movie in my opinion. I don't
Yeah.
really like see it as anything introspective or like
Yeah.
something with a massive deeper meaning. It's more like just somewhat of a commentary on racism, and
I really
that's
like the
cool.
scenes where like he's in like the void or whatever. Like those are like the best
Uh,
scenes that the highlight of
uh,
the entire movie.
yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that a lot.
I haven't seen that since like 2020 though.
Mm. I've not seen it in a while either, but I just remember like really, really liking it.
I
Okay,
watched that
so,
with my dad,
mm,
and he's
okay,
like,
so oh, sorry, I keep
no, like,
interrupting you.
and he's like very right wing, and it was very weird.
Well,
It's
hey, I guess it's just a movie that it's like anyone can like at least kind of get enjoyment out of it,
yeah, like he didn't hate it or anything like that. He was fine.
Okay, I don't have that many other honorable mentions. Just give me a second here. In 2017, which I
Oh
know
yeah,
is another.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That would be in my top like 50 if like we did went all the way down. Yeah, it's in my. That used to be my favorite movie of all time at one point.
Oh my gosh,
That,
really?
like that was back before I was really into film.
I see.
When I was just watching horror movies and shit. Whenever I was a big Dead Meat fan, a big Cody Leach fan and stuff.
Honestly, though, like those shows are really good. I still like will watch Dead Meat and Cody Leach every once in a while. I think they're pretty good.
I have gotten tired of them, especially Cody Leach. Just been like, I don't know. It's like they leave me wanting something more because it's just like, okay, you guys are just talking about the new blockbusters or the new, horror movies. I would rather something a little more like that's why I like YMS so much, even though people like the shit on him is like at least he's going out there and watching like very obscure stuff and talking about them and opening people's eyes. So like, or Karsten, I would rather watch people like him than I don't know.
I mean, they're not just talking about like blockbusters. Like
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
like the 31 on 31s, like they'll do those, and like every now and then there's like a horror franchise that isn't very popular.
yeah. I always liked the 31
Yeah, I think that's what they're just known for, and they just kind of just do
I
that.
think that's kind of the highlight of their of Cody's channel, and then everything else like all right. Like I
Yeah.
can watch them, but I don't know.
Okay, well, going back to it, I just think it's a really, really good horror movie. Bill Skarsgård does a really good job at playing Pennywise. I think he's just kind of built for the role. I couldn't really imagine anyone else, playing him. I think all the kids are really great. Obviously, I feel like they really, in my opinion, they really carry this movie and make it above average, in my opinion, because they just work. Their chemistry works, everything with that. My only main problem is the CGI is not very good. So.
I don't think I'm not the biggest fan of the Jewish kid actor. I don't remember his name.
I think it was Stan.
Yeah,
Stan.
I think he was kind of not great, but everyone else was good. And yeah, Bill Skarsgård's awesome. Pennywise was like my favorite horror movie villain of all time. Whenever I first watched that movie, because of his performance. Now it's like Patrick Bateman or some shit.
Yeah, now it's just like I don't know. Like in the second one, like that was just garbage.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was such a bad movie. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's like
how did they mess it up?
It's like how the hell do you mess this up? How the hell you have a good format.
Exactly.
It almost makes me think the first one should have just been it. Like it should have been nothing else. It should have been the kid movie and that's it. Because once you get to the adult part was always the most least interesting part of that 1990. And I never got to even read the book. I read half of The Shining and I got bored with it. And Stephen King books are just not that interesting, I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
But it's I don't know how you mess that up so badly. How do you mess up a sequel to a movie that's very successful and that both critically and it's just a great movie, and you take the sequel and you just fuck it up?
Honestly, it should have been I think it should have been 3 parts, if I'm being honest.
Either that or just simply get I don't know, the original film had comedy, but it wasn't that bad. Here it's just every time they feel like they can.
It just felt like it was just a generic blockbuster.
Yeah.
but anyways, moving on to good movies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're not even past the honorable mentions yet, and it's been 10 minutes.
It's fine.
Yeah, you're right. It's good. It's good.
They will stay for all of it. I'll make them.
there's only one person. I'm pretty sure they left by now. But
Whatever.
okay, I'm trying to think. What else could I have as an honorable mention? Most of what comes to mind to me is like modern horror movies. To be honest, let's just move on to the stuff. Let's just get into the top
Alright.
30. That was too much. I only listed 2, and that took forever.
So, who goes first? Who goes first when it comes to like? Because we're going like 30, 30, 29, 29. Like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So okay, so I just said my honorable mentions. So go.
My
Let's get this.
number 30 is by a controversial filmmaker. Of course, it is.
Oh God.
It's Repulsion by Roman Polanski.
Oh well, I haven't seen it, so I don't have anything to comment on.
So I love this movie quite a bit. It's a really interesting look on trauma and like the fear of men. Basically, it was Edgar Wright's inspiration for Last Night in Soho, and I think after seeing this movie, he really fucked it up. So
Oh my gosh.
it made me appreciate this movie even more because it's like, and it is kind of weird because it's like thinking back on it and see what Polanski's done. It's kind of like, oh, it's a movie about rape, and he's like,
oh my gosh, that's even worse. That's really bad. That's bad.
But like, it's really well done, really effective. The performances are all great. The cinematography is great. This is actually his first ever American movie, I think.
Oh.
So, because he's Polish and he was like in Poland. He made Polish movies beforehand. But yeah, Repulsion, pretty awesome movie, really stylistic. It's really messed up too when you really look at the implications of certain scenes, look at the implications of like the ending. Really thought provoking and interesting. Yeah, number 30, Repulsion.
Okay, I've not seen it, so just nothing to comment on.
Yeah,
not gonna say anything. Probably sucks though. Okay, well, my number 30 is a movie that is actually valid to have on your top 30 list. It is Day of the Dead, the original.
Haven't seen it. I've only seen Night of the Living Dead.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just talk about it anyways. Basically, obviously, in the first one, they're in a cabin or whatever, a house or whatever. Second one, they're in a mall, and then this one, they're in a military base, which I think is such a great environment to have your zombie movie in because it's so compact and it's like because the zombies just keep like going in closer and closer and closer, and it's just this whole claustrophobic not concept, but it's like this whole claustrophobic fear of like there keeps being like less places where it's safe. It just keeps this idea of like safety and this idea of the fact that you're okay. It's just slowly disintegrating, I guess. And I think just seeing that is all fantastic. The zombies are great. The practical effects, like the blood is so good. Like it's just like I don't want to like sound like like oh it's gore, it's all great, but like I don't know. Yeah, like the practical effects are just really good in this movie. Really like the zombies. The characters, a lot of them suck and are very bad people, and that's why I love watching them because like in the first few, it's like they seem like decent human beings. A lot of them in this movie suck, and I like seeing that. I like seeing scumbags star in horror movies. So
I saw a clip from that movie. Isn't that the movie where like a guy gets like his torso torn open and his head like comes off?
Yeah. Yeah, it's that one.
I think it was a Cody Leach review, and I think he showed the clip.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That man he just loves gore. He just loves
candy. He coined the phrase "carnage candy."
Exactly.
So,
okay, so your next one.
My next one is it's a remake actually.
Oh, okay.
Suspiria by Luca Guadagnino. This is the remake of the original Suspiria. This is the 2018 remake. I actually prefer this over the original Suspiria. Okay. I love Luca Guadagnino. He made Call Me by Your Name, which is one of my favorite movies, and I Am Love, which is also one of my favorite movies. It's really it's kind of like Suspiria. It's like a slow burn mystery. But this one I think is more effective. It's both the story is a lot more interesting to me, and I like the original Suspiria. I do, but I was more interested in this one. There's a lot of weird, creepy shit that happens in it that I think is better than the original. That's more effective, and it just like it left me kind of just going like, what the fuck did I just watch? And I like it when movies do that. I like it when movies kind of confuse me in a way that's good, not like in a bad, confusing way with bad writing, like a confusing way where you're left wanting to know more about what the situation is. The cinematography is beautiful. It's Luca Guadagnino. He knows how to make food look really good in movies. Like literally, he knows how to like really make any type of food really appetizing in movies. Like that's one of his talents. And I think I remember it working here too. It's got a really nice atmosphere. Just really all around fantastic movie. One of my favorites of 2018 and one of my favorite remakes.
Well, this is another one I've not seen. I've been wanting to see the Suspiria movies for a while, but I just haven't gotten to it.
The original one is one that I like, but I would say I appreciate it more than I really enjoy it. Like it's a good movie. It's all right. This one I absolutely love.
Oh, well, okay, that's fair. That's valid. Okay, now let me get to mine number 29, which I want this phone load. Oh my gosh, jeez, this thing's taking forever. Sorry, I'm gonna read this comment while. Why do you sound like Karsten Runquist? Do I really sound like Karsten Runquist? There's no way.
Not really.
Exactly, I don't sound like Karsten Runquist. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, like I don't know. You have I can kind of see it a little bit, but not like a lot.
Yeah, like I'm not intentionally trying to sound like him or anything. Yeah. It's just I'm just talking normally.
Yeah.
Oh my god! What? Something's wrong with my phone.
Bruh.
This is not good. Okay, so my next one is The Wolf House. Have you seen it?
No, I have no idea. Yeah.
No. Well, anyways, basically, it's a movie where it's like I'm trying to think of what's it called. I'm blanking out here, but like it's like there's paper mache, right? And basically, the entire movie is made out of just like these paper mache sort of like looking designs. And it is so cool and creative, and I absolutely like love it. I feel like it has I feel like it's one of the most creative movies I have ever seen, just because of how it's able to make these different shapes and these different designs, and how it's able to like transition. Sort of, it's very weird with the way they're able to do certain things and how they're able to have certain scenes set as, but it looks absolutely fantastic. And I feel like I don't think I've ever appreciated the amount of effort a director has put into something like this until now. I think it is so good. Just it just looks amazing. And I feel like the way they tell the story, the way things are told, it's just so great and so interesting. It's one of the most creative movies I've ever seen in my life, and I just appreciate it so much,
Yeah. I realized I should probably put this on Instagram.
Yeah. Don't worry. Eventually they'll see it.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it right here.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have not seen it, but it looks really interesting. I like stop motion animation a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like animation a lot. I like it whenever it's used in interesting ways. So I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, you should. Okay,
so no, my 29. I just closed down on my 6. Anyway, my number 28 is actually a popular one that I don't know if you've seen or not, but Alien by Ridley Scott.
Of course I have.
Yeah. One that is kind of a nostalgic one for me. One that I really love. Still really love. Album that I haven't seen in a while, but I still remember quite a bit. Of course, you had the iconic stuff, the chest burster and all that stuff. Great effects, great. I remember the cinematography being pretty great too. I don't like this is one that I'll admit I'm blanking on a little because it's like I haven't seen it since. It's one of those ones because it was just like nostalgia, but it's also, from what I remember, really great. Ripley, of course, is a great character. I like this movie more than Aliens, and I like Aliens, and I mean, it's Alien. I don't know what to really say about it.
This is sorry.
No, I'm just gonna say like it's been talked about so much, where it feels like anything I say won't really be brought new to the table.
Well, this movie is going to be on my list a bit later, but I guess what I can say is that I also really like this movie. Of course, here and there, sometimes it's like it drags the
It does.
tiniest bit. It kind of does drag here and there, but beyond that, amazing movie, amazing effects. It's a classic. Everyone loves it. Even people that aren't really that big on horror movies love it. It's
From what
just a
I've seen,
great
yeah.
movie.
From what I've seen, I don't. I'm looking at my letterbox right now. I see maybe like 3 not so great scores out of like a ton of great ones.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
It's just a genuinely great movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're 28.
All right. Let's see. My phone loads. If it doesn't load, I'm gonna have to start pulling it up on my Chromebook, which on this not my Chromebook, my laptop, whatever, same thing. Okay, number 28 is Night of the Living Dead, which
Cool.
Yeah, I think everyone loves this movie. It's a movie that I feel like it's like everyone just has like this sort of at least an appreciation for it.
Mhm.
The practical effects for the '60s, I'd say, are really good. I feel like what holds it so much is the tension as well as the characters, somewhat, because like seeing their interactions and stuff is all very interesting, and the way they interact and such, I feel like is so great. It's a classic. Everyone loves it. I'm kind of blanking on it a bit because I saw it once and it was 3 years ago, but I remember really loving it, and eventually I want to give it a rewatch.
Yeah, I like it. I haven't seen it in a while, also, but I remember a lot about it. Honestly, I remember like a lot of things I liked about it. I remember like um the ending. As I said that,
Oh my gosh.
I remember like the characters quite a bit. Actually, I remember like in the conflicts between them, kind of how important it was, since it was like I think the first black character in a horror movie, main character in a horror movie, I believe.
I guess so.
I think he was. Like the first main character that was like a hero and focused on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
mean.
But yeah, cool movie. 7 out of 10 I gave it, which for me is like a great score. So like, yeah, I like it.
Because you're weird. Okay, now your turn.
This one, another obscure foreign film, because
Oh God.
Tetsuo the Iron Man. It is is this Japanese? Yes, it is. Japanese horror film about a man who's basically slowly starts like turning, like his body starts basically like fusing with iron.
Oh, really?
Like there's literally a scene in the beginning where like he puts an iron pipe into his arm, and like he's like having like weird things happening to his arm and body and all that stuff. His I'm gonna say it. His penis turns into a drill.
That is the funniest thing I've ever heard. That's the funniest thing I've heard all day.
See this. It's insane. It's like it turned into like this big like not kaiju, but like fight between two iron people.
Oh my.
Insane, crazy shit happens. Let's just say that the drill dick does come into play in a very funny way.
Oh my gosh, that is so. I have to watch this now.
You have to. You have to.
I have to watch this movie. I have
awesome.
to.
It's really gross and weird and like disturbing to watch, because like yeah, like you see him like put these metal shit into like his body, like like in visceral ways. Like he like cuts his arm and then like just puts the pipe in there. Like you see like grinding against his teeth too and stuff. Like it's freaking weird, and I love it. From 1989. Yeah,
that's maybe I'll see it.
Right, I watched it this month actually for my horror binge.
Oh, I gotta watch it then. I really gotta watch it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. So
awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I have nothing to say because I haven't seen it. So yeah, starting to notice a trend here. Anyways, my next movie is going to be The Fly, the 1980s one, not the 60s one, which honestly is pretty underrated. I'd say the 60s one's pretty underrated, to be honest. No one talks about it.
I have seen this one. I actually saw it this month.
Oh. Well, I guess I'll just give my opinions on it first, and then you can talk about it if you want to. So basically, I think when it comes down to it, the practical effects in this movie are so good, like with the makeup and everything. The way you see him slowly descend and turn into a fly is like one of the best, like, sort of descends into madness I've seen, and the way they do it with the practical effects and slowly see his body turn into a literal fly is so good. Also, what's the guy's name? Jurassic Park guy. Oh my gosh, I'm
Jeff
blanking on
Goldblum.
this.
Jeff
Yeah,
Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum. Sorry, I'm really bad with names.
Mhm.
But anyways, he does a fantastic job showing this slow descent into madness, and it's just a really good, well-made movie. It doesn't do anything that's crazy or stands out a ton, but it really just is able to do what it does well. It's I everything that I expected from this movie, I got out of. I got a really good, movie about a guy descending and turning into a fly.
It's good. Cronenberg is weird for me because like there's quite a bit of movies that I don't really love from him. This one I enjoyed quite a bit. It didn't leave me with any form of like big impression. It was just like, yeah, it's cool. Like the practical effects. Jeff Goldblum's cool. I do have one movie on this list from Cronenberg though, which I'll talk about
Oh,
later.
I have
But
another one.
yeah, it's a good movie. I wish Cronenberg would get better at cinematography, or at least like have more interesting cinematography than just like what he does. Like other than the movie I have on this list, a lot of times I've felt myself wanting more from like him visually and him like he has the practical effects, but even then when I binged most of his filmography this month, which I didn't even get to finish, it didn't really feel like he even does the practical effects stuff a lot when you really watch a lot of his films.
No.
It's like, wow, okay then.
I think he's really good at taking like these crazy concepts and just bringing them to life. I don't think it's like, because when it comes to cinematography, I feel like he doesn't really care as much about that as he does as trying to bring this concept to the big screen.
Especially, have you seen any of like his newer stuff?
No, not at all, really.
My God, he has gotten worse visually. Like
That's
it's
not
like
good.
Crimes of the Future had like some horrible looking visual. It was like it looks like they're in front of a green screen for a lot of it, and I know for a fact they're not in front of it. It's obviously a lighting and like cinematography issue. I don't know what's wrong with it. But yeah, Fly is good.
Yeah,
That's year 27. So. Are you done talking about The Fly?
yeah, I'm done talking about
Right.
it. It's just a really good. It's just a really
Number
great movie.
26 is Killing of a Sacred Deer by Yorgos Lanthimos.
24.
This is my only film I've seen from this director. I've been meaning to see more. I really love this. This movie pissed me off in like a good way. It's a movie that's gonna piss you off. It's like because you're watching this. So like, it's about this dad who basically is helping this kid who has like the kid's father died on the dude on the main character's like how can I explain this? It's been a while since I've seen it. The main character is a doctor, and the dad died on his bed. And of this kid's dad died on his bed, and the kid basically, and he's kind of trying to counsel the kid, or trying to help the kid or whatever. Well, the kid starts fucking with his family, and he basically just slowly kills them. Like not even in like a he's gonna stab them. No, he like curses them with like sicknesses and like seduces the daughter into having sex with him and shit. Just slowly fucks with them, and it pisses you off because it's like on one hand you understand that like the kid's mad because when you realize that it's kind of the guy's fault that his dad died, but you also have the fact that like he didn't have to kill the dude's entire family, or like he doesn't have to slowly kill the dude's entire family. I know it seems like I'm spoiling it, but I don't think it's really a film that needs to be like you need to worry about being spoiled. It's pretty much the experience of like just watching this family slowly fall apart.
That is absolutely messed up.
Barry Keoghan plays the kid, and he is fantastic. I wanted to punch this fucking kid. He has a punchable personality. Like he has that personality that's just like you want to punch him. He's not smug. It's more like this like he's trying to act all innocent and shit when really he's like tearing people's lives apart. It's really creepy. It's really well shot. It reminded me of Clockwork Orange at times, like how it's shot.
All right.
Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman all do great jobs. It's a fantastic film. One of my favorites of 2017 and one of my favorite A24 movies. Really fucked up. Mm.
Huh.
I watched it with my dad, and that might have been a bad decision because there's
Oh
like a
my
lot of sexual.
gosh.
There's a lot of sexual shit that happens in it.
Yeah. You don't want to watch anything normally you don't want to watch anything, sexual with your parents. Anything with like nudity or anything. It's
I,
just uncomfortable.
at this point, there is like, yeah, we know you watch this shit.
Exactly.
We don't care.
Exactly. We know you watch it.
I watched The Master with my dad, and The Master has one scene with a bunch of naked women. It's just like we weren't even like we were just like, all right.
Oh, okay. Bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been meaning to see that movie for a long time, and now knowing like the actual like plot of the movie, I'm even more intrigued. So
Yeah, it might piss you off. It's made to piss you off.
well, I mean,
It pissed me off because it's like, well, like you understand, but at the same time you're like, why? Why you gotta do this?
okay. Well, I've not seen it, so I guess I'll just go into my next one, which is actually wait. Let's read this comment first.
Katie, I'm heading to church right now, but popping in to say hi. I wish you all up. Thanks, Katie, and drop a thank you, Katie.
Okay. Well, thank you. We really appreciate it, of course. Support here because let's be honest, no one's gonna watch this thing until we're done with it. So
Yeah.
exactly.
Anyway.
Okay. But anyways, going to the next one on our list, which is number 26, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. 26.
26? Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Killing a Sacred Deer was 26.
So then we're at 25 now for me.
No, 26 because you haven't done your 26 yet.
I did do my 26. My 26 was The Fly.
Wait a second.
Oh no, this is bad. We're already messing up.
Hold on. After I did my 27, which was Tetsuo the Iron Man, you're supposed to do your 27.
I didn't. I think my 27 was Night of the Living Dead.
I think there was a mess up here.
Yeah, there really was a mess up here. Okay, so I did Day of the Dead, Wolf House, Night of the Living Dead, and then I said The Fly, which was my fourth one.
Tetsuo the Iron Man. Yeah, okay, so that's my fourth one also. Tetsuo the Iron Man was my fourth one. This is my fifth one.
Oh, so then that's your fifth one. Then I'm on my fifth.
Killing a Sacred Deer was my fifth one, 26.
Sorry, my
yeah,
camera's messed up. But
so,
yeah,
I don't know what happened, but let's. I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, let's keep this back on the air. So my 25th one is Alien, which you just mentioned a couple of spots ago. But
nothing really say about this. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there isn't much to say about it besides the fact that it's like the tension is fantastic, of course. I think one thing people don't talk about this movie very often is the set design. I love the set design in this movie. Ridley Scott's like set designs in his movies are always like the best part, and I feel like this is one of them for sure. Practical effects with the Alien, top tier, literally just a great, fantastic horror movie, and then the sequel. We'll get to the sequel soon.
I think this is my favorite Ridley. Yeah, this is my favorite Ridley Scott movie.
This is like this would be like my second favorite, third favorite, something like that.
I think this is the only one I've really like loved. I don't like any of his Alien like prequels, and Blade Runner was kind of in it to me personally. I want to rewatch that one though. I haven't seen it in a while.
Have you seen Gladiator?
No.
You should see Gladiator. Gladiator's great.
I watched the first few minutes and couldn't get into it, but I'll try again. I was a little in it whenever I was watching it though, so
Yeah. The beginning isn't great, but it's like once you once you just get it, once it gets going, it really gets going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy, my next one.
All right, let's see this.
Because it's one you hate.
Oh God, what is it?
It's the Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead.
Not even.
I love this movie a lot. It's like such a great student film, like just showing how much passion. This is what I wish Sam Raimi would do more instead of his stupid fucking like comic book movie shit. This like just crazy off the wall, and not giving a shit about like anything really, just going insane with the gore and I think this movie does it better than the second one. I love a lot of the practical effects. I love the creative cinematography. I think the characters, while it's not the greatest thing ever, aren't horrible. I think that they serve the story fine. Like I enjoyed them for the most part. I love how I like the little tiny filmmaking mistakes that were in the film because it shows just how authentic it is. Like, there's a version of this film, I believe, where you can like see a few filmmaking mistakes. I know that um, recent releases of the film have like cut like edited them out, and I it's a problem that a lot of more recent like things in movies have been like changing the movies for some reason. It's like there's a Lion King Blu-ray with like a whole new song in it
Uh,
that you have to like change the settings in order to fix.
that's nasty.
Yeah,
That's nasty.
and like I really wish they'd stop doing that. He's like the original Evil Dead is great the way it is. I don't want them to fix the things that they think need to be fixed because then it just takes away from the experience. I think Ash is currently at his weakest here, but I also think that he works with what the story is going for. I think that it's a fun horror movie. I also just love the idea as someone who's like trying to become a filmmaker. I love the idea of just like a guy going to a cabin with a bunch of his friends and just like, hey, let's film some random shit. Let's film some random shit of you guys dying. Being
Yeah.
possessed by demons.
Oh my. Okay. Well.
I heard that, also, I heard that Sam Raimi like abused uh, Bruce Campbell or some shit. I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh. That's bad. I really hope that's not true because I really like Sam Raimi.
He like poked him with a stick or some shit.
Oh well. I mean, if he just like poked him with a stick and messed around with him,
He was
that's
injured.
fine.
The dude was injured while he was poking him.
Oh.
Like he was like, yeah. It was not a
Oh.
very sanitary set. They were like having like there were a bunch of issues.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well. You know, I I've watched all three, and out of all three, this is by far my least favorite. I cannot stand this movie for the most part. I cannot. The characters are awful in this movie. They are so annoying, bland, and boring, and I'm glad they get killed off because they just suck. Even Ash is so boring and dull in this movie, and I don't care about him at all. And you would think that it's like, entertaining, but a lot of the movie is just them talking in this stupid cabin and, going over like the whole backstory and like the lore or whatever of Evil Dead when I don't care. And in the second one, they explore it a lot better than they do in this first movie. I feel like the second one is just a remake of this, but like the better version, I
I
feel
think
like
the second one's inferior. Actually, I think the second one both. I like the second one, but I think that one of the biggest issues is that like, it almost feels like it's less authentic because it's like, oh, you're remaking the first one with a bigger budget now. Okay,
but it's better.
not really. I
It
don't
is.
think it's better.
I mean, it
A lot
is
of
though.
charm is gone to me whenever in like the
Mm,
first act. It's the
I don't
rest of the
know.
movie that's great, and I don't know. Like everything. Whenever like he has to be. Also, I don't understand why the second one seen as like the movie where like Ash is as most Ash. That's the third movie. The second movie is when he
Mm.
becomes Ash.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean, I don't know. I feel like when you get to, I think the second one and the third one, it's like he's just by far the best. I think he's just great in both of those movies equally.
He's great in Ash versus Evil Dead. Also,
I haven't seen the show.
I saw the show. All three seasons. I love it.
I like to see the remake though. I like to see
I liked that movie when I first saw it, but it's like really lessened for me because it's like when I remember it was kind of like, But yeah,
I don't know. I feel like this movie was just like the second one, but without the entertainment. Like it was kind of entertaining, but it's like those moments weren't as good as in the second one to me. So yeah, that's just my opinion. So. Okay, so I guess this is where I go into my 24th.
25th, whoever. I don't know anymore.
No, it's 24th. It's 24th. Trust me, it's 24th. I know. I know what I'm talking about. I think.
I hope.
If I don't, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well, my phone will not turn on for whatever reason, so I'm just gonna go to my list on here, which just doesn't work. Oh. Oh my god! All right. Well, I wish there was a comments or something, so make this easier to stall.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? I don't have mine ranked, like I don't have the list numbers because
Yeah.
like I'm using Letterbox for this thing. So I'm gonna do that real quick. While I'm doing that, you can just list yours. Just just cause.
I'm not gonna do that. I want to do this like I don't want to mess up this process.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay,
Yeah.
well I guess.
I will say
Uh,
this. I saw like so I saw Barbarian and the Monsters last night.
oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, cool. But
I did not like Barbarian. Rob Zombie sucks ass. God damn. The Monsters was so fucking unbearable. Oh my god. It looked so not only does it visually look like shit, but like every joke is like bare the, the jokes are like the most safe fucking like you'd expect it from an Illumination movie. Like you
oh
would
my
expect it from
gosh.
like a movie that's made for kids, but it's not made for kids. There's a ton of like like stuff that's not made for kids in this movie, like sexual references, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not like subtle really. You can't like put them over their kids' heads or anything like that. No, they're there, and like it's like who is this made for, Rob? Because it's not made for because people who like the Monsters aren't going to like it because it's not even like the I've seen a few episodes of the Monsters and it's not even the comedy in those episodes. Those episodes are still somewhat funny. Here it's like they like do a ton of jokes that just aren't like funny. It's like in the first 5 minutes there were two jokes I've heard in every single like bad comedy ever. I don't remember
Mm.
what they were, but I remember like groaning whenever I heard them. You can tell it was filmed for black and white. And I guess they just told them not to do it in black and white. Like you know, it was filmed for it because it looks like shit. It looks like shit. It looks like he filmed on a different like frames per second or something like that. I don't know what happened, but it looks like shit. But the final few minutes of the movie, like they like recreate. Have you seen the Monsters?
No,
Okay. Well, do you know the opening for the show?
not really.
Okay. Well, they recreated the opening at the end. It's in black and white, and it looks better than the entire rest of the movie. And it's like, so this was obviously intended for black and white. You were just told, they probably just told Rob, hey, don't film in black and white because no one's going to like that. Like, are you an idiot?
Um,
It very clearly would make it better in black and white.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Going back on the topic.
yeah.
Um.
I thought I would talk about that while you're doing that, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I finished it a while ago.
All right.
Okay. So apparently we're not on 24. We're on 25. At
Yeah.
least I am. So
Yeah.
number 25 is for me is Child's Play, the original,
Decent movie. Cool movie. I used to
which
love it a lot, but
I can understand if someone doesn't love this movie as much as I do. But I feel like when it comes down to it, I feel like for me, horror movies are a lot about tension and a lot about the fear and anxiety of something. And I feel like that movie encapsulates it so well. This whole idea of like, because obviously it's not the kid. If you
yeah.
know anything about Child's Play, it's not the kid.
Yeah.
But then this whole idea of it being blamed on him and people thinking this little kid is a suspect, it's like, especially for like, it feels sort of terrifying because you're feeling, is it actually the kid? Is it not the kid? What's going on here? What's happening? And then like the whole point of view stuff with the doll is great. I mean, of course they kind of ripped it off from Jaws, but it's fine, because it works very, very well in my opinion. And then you get to the third act and Chucky just goes fully insane once they almost throws him once he gets like pretty much almost thrown in the fire, and then it's finally revealed that that's the doll.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff's great.
Yeah.
I just love the movie. I love the way they do it. I love how they slowly build up to it being Chucky, and then just seeing him go full blown out it's fantastic. I love it.
Brad Dourif is really fun as Chucky.
Mm.
And yeah, I enjoy it from what I remember. I really like it's one of those classic movies that I do enjoy. I have a weird thing with like classics sometimes. Sometimes like I hated Forrest Gump and I hated Top Gun. It's really weird for me. It's like but this movie has like nostalgia for me. It's like there's a lot of classics I love, but there's also a lot of classics I hate.
Mm.
And it's
Gotcha.
like I'm very weird with classics. Like it's like I'm always like scared to watch them sometimes. It's like if I like I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not. I don't like It's like I don't want to fucking piss off the entire world again.
I love making everyone mad when I have a controversial opinion on a movie that's not as good as people say it is.
Yeah, Child's Play, good movie. It used to I used to adore it, but now I think it's pretty good.
Okay. Well, your next movie.
My next movie is where is it? Oh, this is the most recent movie on this list.
Okay.
Titan. It's not Titan. It's not Titan. It's something else. It's like Titan or something like that.
Titan.
By Julia. These fucking hard ass.
Oh my god.
Anyway, from 2021.
You need Google Translate for the movies you have in your list.
Anyway, that should be the last one that does that. Anyway, Titan. I'm gonna call it that because I know how to pronounce it.
Titan. Okay.
Right. So awesome movie, really cool body horror type, like feminist movie.
Yeah.
About a woman who basically ends up like pregnant with like an oil baby thing and kills people and basically has to and like pretends to be a boy, doesn't identify as one. People who call this transphobic, it's not transphobic. She's not like identifying as a boy, she's pretending to be one to survive. It's an entirely different thing. She and like basically a man like mistakes her for his son. And it's like a really interesting and weird movie about like gender roles that's actually pretty well done. Like it's not preachy at all. It's pretty like interesting and creepy and weird. It's kind of a slow burn. It is, but it's really worth it. It's very well shot, very well made. It's my favorite horror film of the decade so far. Really weird stuff that happens in this movie, but really cool. And I mean, she fucks a car in it, so I don't, just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to see this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it has car sex.
Now,
The fuck was that? You're muted. Oh, there you go. I didn't know what the hell is happening.
Things being really.
The hell.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. You're kind of.
Is the mic quality bad?
It's fine. It's not.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. Something's messing with like my whole thing.
But yeah, I mean, like it has car sex. That should be enough reason to watch it.
Exactly, just for the car.
But yeah, Titan.
Okay, so yeah, I have no opinion because I haven't seen it. So next movie, Jacob's Ladder. Have you seen this one?
Haven't seen it. No.
It is directed by the great Wes Craven, and basically, I don't want to spoil it, but it's essentially like the basic plot of the whole movie. What's happening is it's about a World War II veteran. I think it's World War II. Yeah, I think it's World War II. And basically, he has PTSD and all this stuff, and he thinks he's being hunted by devils. He thinks that he's going to die.
Vietnam War.
What?
It's Vietnam.
Oh, Vietnam.
Yeah.
Vietnam. Whatever. Same thing. Same thing. It's a war. It's a war.
Yeah,
That's all you need to know. Is that he's PTSD from war, and he thinks he's being, hunted by demons or devils that are trying to take him down and drag him to hell. So, yeah, pretty interesting movie.
Yeah.
I think when it comes down to it, the tension is something that's so great about the movie. I think because I know I talk about tension so much, but it's like the way they have this looming anxiety of like anybody could be like a devil or a demon, and how he is so, and now he's like having like trust problems with it, and is like just movies like that are always so good to me. And there's something that I really want to talk about, but there's like this whole theme of like accepting death sort of, and I don't want to talk about it because I have to spoil the ending, and the ending is super good. But yeah, great movie. Absolutely love it.
I haven't seen it, so I can't give any. Hold on. Is there a ladder in it though?
No.
0 out of 10. Misleading title. He doesn't have a ladder.
It doesn't have a ladder. Misleading. My gosh.
I've been thinking of that joke ever since I saw the title, which is like I have to make this joke one day. Anyway, my number 23 is my favorite Cronenberg movie, Videodrome.
I haven't seen it. I need to see it though.
Videodrome was my first ever Cronenberg episode. Also, really interesting way to start a movie about porn.
Okay, now I gotta see it.
Yeah.
I gotta see it just for that alone.
It's like a movie about basically this guy who's like a porn, kind of like he's like a guy who's in charge of like putting like porn and stuff on TV.
Oh, really?
Like he's in charge of like what goes, what doesn't go, what he's a businessman.
Wow.
Like distributes them. Anyway, he finds this new thing called Videodrome, which is basically like torture porn. Like it's like mutilating people and shit. Like it's kind of bad. Yeah, it's like the weird dark web shit you see. You know.
I see. What you mean.
And basically he ends up getting like sucked into it. And starts like getting like obsessed with it, and starts like taking over his life in ways. And it starts, and like if you watch it, it's like if you watch it, I don't remember what happens exactly. Oh, hold on, I think it says right here. As viewers, he happens the video drama TV show dedicated to gratuitous torture and punishment. Max sees potential hit broadcast show on his channel. However, after his girlfriend auditions for the show, it never returns. Max investigates the truth behind the video and discovers that the graphic violence may not be fake as he thought. Yeah. So like his girlfriend, of course, auditions for it, and she disappears and shit. It's really creepy and weird. A lot of weird practical effects. That's probably his best practical effects I've seen. At least in terms of like how weird it was and how like gross it was. Really weird thing with yeah. Really thought-provoking, kind of thought-provoking, kind of talking about how violence is in the media, how we onto it, how we get addicted to it. Really weird movie. I mean, it's Cronenberg. It's to be expected.
Yeah. I haven't seen this movie, but I'm interested in it because it sounds like a really interesting concept.
Yeah. I mean, it's Cronenberg, and he likes his interesting, weird concepts.
Yeah. He's like the king of concepts when it comes to horror movies, you know?
Sometimes. Usually his concepts are better than his execution sometimes, but yeah.
Okay.
You're 23 or whatever it is. Yeah,
23. So now that after that we are gonna take a complete 180 and go to Shaun of the Dead.
Banger! This is way higher on my list, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, this is like way higher on my list.
Well, anyways, I didn't really know how to feel about this movie. Like, I just thought I really, really loved it the first time I watched it. Then I just thought it was pretty good, you know. So I gave it like 4 because for me, a 4 is like really, really good, but you know, not a favorite or anything like that. And then I started thinking, I really, really enjoyed this movie. It's not great, it's not perfect or anything like that. It's not a brilliantly made movie, but it's a really good movie and it's a really entertaining movie. And because of that, I gave it 4.5 out of 5, which is pretty much just a 9 out of 10. And now with that said, I really like the camera work. It's not really a tension-filled movie. It's just a movie that's,
I'm sorry. I was agreeing with you. That's all. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But basically, it's a movie that's like, it's got really good cinematography. The characters are super entertaining and super fun to watch. It's just a really fun, entertaining horror movie. And I feel like a horror movie either has to be, you know, creative or it has to be just fun or a combination of both. You know, I feel like those movies that are creative and fun horror movies are like the best. And this is creative and fun at the exact same time. And just a great movie overall.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this one yet because it's like really high on my list.
I see.
So, and it's a really personal film to me, honestly. But yeah, one later. Anyway, number 22, House, the 1977 movie by Obayashi. This is an insane trip of a movie. I'm not gonna say anything about it, like as in plot wise, but I love the cinematography. I love how weird and crazy it is. It actually handles some really interesting concepts like trauma and stuff like that in a very interesting and creative way. It's very creative. That's the best way to say it.
Mm,
It's not exactly scary. It's more almost funny, but
mm,
it's a kind of a horror comedy. It actually has comedy in its genres too.
mm,
It's a comedy in a way, but like a really obscure, crazy, weird stuff happens in this movie. You gotta see it in order to believe it.
mm,
Like it's just so crazy and weird, and it's so expressive and just beautiful to and really interesting. It's not for everyone. Some people might watch it and think that it sucks because of just how weird it is. Like some people are gonna watch it and be like, "What the hell? This isn't like you know." Like some people are gonna see it and not really and take it literally. Like, they're gonna take it as literal and they're gonna take it everything.
mm,
Like, there's certain scenes where like there's literally like fake backdrops, and you can very much tell it's part of like the charm and part of like what's going on. Like
mm.
it's a consistent theme throughout the movie. It's not like a bad filmmaking decision. It's like a choice through the movie. It's really fun and really just well done. Also, the poster is one of the best posters I've ever seen. I love that poster. Whenever on this stream, I'm gonna having to. That's not, I'm gonna have to paint a pumpkin. I'm gonna try to paint that at least the face of the poster on that pumpkin.
Ah, I see. I
Because
see.
I want. There's a shirt with the face also. I want to give that shirt at some point. I
Mm.
love that fucking poster. But
Okay.
yeah, awesome movie. Or
Um,
yeah, what's yours?
I saw it once, and I don't think I gave it a very fair watch when I watched it. I kind of enjoyed it, but like, I feel like the way I watched it wasn't really like me paying attention to it as well as I should have. So
I didn't know you've seen it.
yeah, I saw it a long time ago, but I
Yeah,
gotta give it a rewatch.
yeah.
Okay. So with that said, moving on to the next one
Mhm.
is going to be the second Child's Play movie, which I mean obviously isn't technically better made or whatever than movies such as Alien
Yeah,
and Shaun of the Dead
yeah,
and The Fly. But the thing is, it's a favorites list. You know,
yeah.
it's different. But talking about the movie, I think when it comes down to it, it's just so fun. Like, and I know I keep using that word a lot, but it's like it really is just a crazy, enjoyable movie that I absolutely love. I feel like Brad Dourif fully embodies Chucky in this movie. Like he's just full on Chucky, and it's so great and so entertaining to watch. That ruler kill or meter stick,
Yeah.
meter stick. Sorry, meter stick. That was so great. Like the way it just zooms out every time he hits her.
Yeah.
It's so entertaining. And then of course you get to the third act and oh my gosh, that is so good. It's so great. And then there's other kills, even before that I love. It's just a great, really entertaining movie. It's
Yeah.
nothing like, introspective or interesting. It's just fun.
It's my favorite Child's Play movie, actually.
Mm, it's mine too.
Yeah. It's yeah, really fun movie. Nothing that really nothing that leaves me like, wow. But yeah, good movie.
Yeah, that's why it's here. So yeah.
So number 21, the first like really mainstream movie on this list, or Alien, Jaws.
Mm,
Yeah.
W.
I love this movie a lot. Uh, I mean, like, what has art? Like, it's beautifully shot, beautifully made, fantastic. It's one of Steven Spielberg's best. One of the only few I really love from him. So far as a director, he's kind of been for me, but this one I really love.
Mm,
So much passion behind it, really well done, like drama, really tension filled. Of course, the score is fantastic. I will say this: there's like a song, there's like a part of the score that I'm not the biggest. It's not like the main score, like the done. No, not that. It's near the end. It's like
mm.
it's the Indiana Jones sounding score that's in like every Spielberg movie ever. That
I
I
think you know what
don't
you're
love.
talking about.
Like I don't love it because it's like it felt a little silly at times. Because like whenever the guy's like getting eaten and stuff, it's playing. It's like really. I mean, couldn't we just like not have anything play it? This or like But other than that, like that's
Mm,
all I really have against it. It's like such a well done drama. All the acting's great. There's so many beautiful shots. This is one of, like, the best shot horror films out there, at least in like the mainstream, like in mainstream media, not like obscure stuff. Like, it's just such a fantastic film. I rewatched it last October and I was like, holy shit, this is a lot better than I remember it being. The originally I liked it, but I didn't remember a lot from it. It's like, wow, like this phenomenal movie.
It's just like every single like set piece, every single like
Yeah.
part of the movie is like meaningful in some sort of way. And like every time you like watch it, like every single scene is just entertaining in its own way and interesting.
Yeah. It's one of those classics that really works for me and I love.
Yeah. This movie is going to be a lot higher on my list, so I'm just not going to say too much about it now.
Yeah.
But let's just say once we get there,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be up there. It's just it's a great movie.
Yeah. Second favorite Spielberg for me.
It's up there for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there. Okay, well now my number 21, which is A Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh, God.
Shut up.
We have a debate. We have a fucking debate.
Yeah, this is my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And I think when it comes down to it, the first one, it had the concept and it had Freddy Krueger. And I feel like Robert Englund was, of course, very good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it just, when you came down to the first one, it was just a pretty good movie. Then you get to the third one. And then Robert Englund is way better in this movie. The dream sequences are way better. The practical effects in those dream sequences are so good. And it's so much more fun and entertaining. I feel like when it comes down to it, there's still that tension. There's still that fear with the whole idea of, falling asleep and such. But I feel like it's a little bit more, I guess, enjoyable. And I feel like I think I feel the fear a lot more in this one. But also at the same time, it's not fully just going for those fearful moments like the first one was. And I felt like I just couldn't really feel it as much because it was just going for that specifically. And I just wasn't scared at all throughout the movie. And I feel like it was relying on you to be scared and I wasn't. So because of that, it just didn't work for me. However, with this one, it's also trying to be enjoyable as well. And I feel like that it just works better. So,
I rewatched the first 3 Nightmare movies last October and they lessened greatly for me. The first one I think is fine. I don't like it was like I had a very passive experience watching it. The second one I hated on rewatch.
I haven't seen the second one.
Oh my god. And this one I did not like either on rewatch. And my main reason is because I don't like the characters very much. Like let me be more specific. I don't like the Dream Warriors that much.
That's fair.
I don't like the acting one. I think they're all badly acted. And you can make the excuse that it's the 80s, but like there's so many great performances in the 80s. And I think that I hate the excuse it was the time period. No, because like Jack Nicholson in The Shining is like phenomenal. And like the people in The Thing are phenomenal. There's no excuse for bad acting. It's bad acting.
I feel like what they mean by that though is like but like when you take those exceptional performances that are like, I mean, I'm not making an excuse, but I'm just gonna say, let's be honest. There's very like rare, getting performances like from Jack Nicholson from The Shining, or even like Harrison Ford from Raiders of the Lost Ark, or anything like that. Those are rare. Those are like rare performances to get like out of people because they're like top tier actors. But also, I mean, it's not the greatest. I don't hate it. I don't think it's awful. It's not good, but also, I don't know. I feel like they're not focused. I don't think the Dream Warriors specifically are focused on enough for me to dislike it as much or think it as a major flaw.
I mean, for me, it's like, well, one of them is literally like the main character of the movie, basically, other than Nancy. And you have the other ones, like, I really don't like the scene where, like, they all start getting their superpowers. I thought that was really cheesy and dumb and stupid.
Yeah, but I feel like it's kind of its charm, though, sometimes. I feel like sometimes it's just kind of dumb, and it works.
I don't know. It's like, and I didn't love the story all that much. I thought it was really boring. Robert Englund is good. I think I maybe prefer him in the first, honestly. Because I didn't like the kills are fun, I guess, but I didn't find them all that. I don't know. There's just something about this movie where it's like I was greatly bored while watching it. Other than maybe like a few scenes here and there, were like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess.
I
It's
guess,
like I don't know.
I guess that's fair. It's not on here because it's like one of the best horror movies ever made. It's obviously not, but it's on here because I just had such a good time with it. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Yep, that's all I have.
Number 20 for me is Thirst by Park Chan Wook. I actually just saw this like really recently, like literally a few days ago. I love Park Chan Wook a lot. I love Old Boy. I love The Handmaiden. I love Decision to Leave. I love Thirst. This one, of course. I love Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. He's one of my favorite Korean director, South Korean director. He just knows how to tell these really great stories. He's in like just such fantastic direction and editing, and just he's always so engaging. And this film is like just so well done. It's a vampire movie. It basically takes the concept of it takes the concept of something like Twilight, which is like a shitty movie about vampire romance, and actually takes the concept and does it right. It actually takes like the morality and actually looks into like the morality of things, looks into the things about like whether or not like basically it talks about basically like the main character is like a priest who ends up turning into a vampire, and this woman falls in love with him, and basically he's trying to like hold back. He needs the blood to survive, but he's trying to hold back killing people because he's a priest. He's like, I still want to go the way of God, but at the same time, I am basically in this situation where I have to kill. And it has a lot of interesting ideas about like what's a sin, what's not a sin, what is good, what is evil. And it's such a fantastic film, so well directed, and it's really just such a insane experience. It's like 2 hours and like 30 something minutes, and it never drags for me. It's really well done. I love Park Chan so much, and just the way he does things. It's really gross too, but they don't hold back when it comes to like the blood and stuff, like the drinking blood stuff. Like they literally just like there's some really fucked up shit that happens in this movie. It's really great.
I have not seen this movie, but when it comes to vampires, they're probably like the most interesting paranormal creatures to make like a movie filled with substance, like a substance filled horror movie on, because it's like this whole idea of like they have to drink blood or else they're gonna die. They have to kill people.
Or they're gonna die, yeah.
Exactly.
And they do a great job at kind of exploring like the morality of like, could there be ways to not do this without killing people, or like killing people who don't deserve it or something like that, or like don't like you literally have him like going to like hospitals and being like people who are already basically dead, and being like, okay, I'll just suck the IV out, take their IV out and just suck that out. About how, and now he gets pushed to his limits and stuff. It's really interesting.
What I don't get about them is why don't they just kill animals? Like, isn't that the same?
Well, this movie flat out says you need human blood. Like they say you need human blood. I believe they flat out said like it needs to be the blood of a human. They never kill an animal in the movie. They never even like give the possibility. I don't think so, unless I missed it. But I don't think I did.
Yeah, that makes the movie like make more sense and more interesting. I feel like.
But yeah.
Okay.
That's it for Thirst.
Well, I guess I'll go to my next one, which is number 20, which is Sleepy Hollow by Tim Burton.
I have not seen this in so long.
Well, basically, you know the story of the Headless Horseman, right?
Yeah.
The concept. Basically, it's kind of like that, and sort of a spoof on it, sort of, not really, but kind of at the same time. Of course, Johnny Depp stars in it, and he's really good as Ichabod Crane. I really like him in this movie. He's so wacky and goofy and crazy, and it's just Johnny Depp being just playing at his best, and I feel like it works super well. Also, Tim Burton, the best thing about his movies most of the time is his like set designs and like his cinematography with his good films. Like there's always like, I feel like when it comes to it, it's either hit or miss, and when it hits, it really hits. And in this movie, it definitely hits because it's just like the way it looks, the whole gothic aesthetic. It's Tim Burton, it's Tim Burton at his finest, and it's so fun, goofy, and entertaining, and I just love it so much.
I don't remember a lot from this movie. I remember not liking it very much, but again, I don't remember I don't remember a single thing about it actually.
Yeah, it's just one of my favorite Burton movies.
Well,
Okay.
number 19 is another vampire movie actually.
Oh,
not
nice.
Nosferatu the Vampire, not the 1922 one, the 1979 one by Werner Herzog. The 1922 one I appreciate but don't really love all that much. This one I genuinely loved. It's very thought provoking, very well done. The cinematography is gorgeous. This movie has such beautiful landscapes. The acting's all great. Especially the actor for Nosferatu or Count Dracula himself. It's just such an engaging story. It's very tension filled. A lot of interesting ideas. It's slow, but it's never really boring. I think it does a great job at building up things and building up tension. And just it has a lot of a lot of interesting historical subtext and a lot of interesting ideas that I just really love. I think it handles them really well done. The only issue I'd have would probably be that there are two scenes in the movie where I think that you can tell where it's kind of what the characters are saying and their mouths aren't syncing. There's one or two scenes where I saw that. It's all right, I don't know if that's a time period thing or if that's just a mistake. But other than that, it's a little slow, but it's not boring. I was engaged though the entire runtime basically. It's a fantastic movie. I want to see more from Werner Herzog. I will be seeing more from Werner Herzog actually soon because I have some things I need to watch, and one of them is from him. But yeah, awesome movie.
I have only seen the original. I don't think I gave it a crazy fair watch when I did watch it, and also, it's been so long, so maybe I'll rewatch both of them or something like that. Do something like that because I really enjoyed it. So yeah. Okay, so with that said, I guess we'll just go on to number 19, which is another vampire movie. I have 3 in a row. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that.
Right.
I have Vampire, which is I don't think have you seen Vampire?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, basically it's a 1930s, 1931, 1930, something like that. And it's black and white and pretty much silent for most of the movie. And I feel like it's not exactly something that's crazy or gonna knock you out. Really, the reason why I love this movie so much is the atmosphere. I feel like the atmosphere is so unique, crazy, and interesting, and the way they portray this very simple story and very straightforward story, and the way they tell it with this interesting atmosphere and with very minimal dialogue as well. It's just all portrayed in such an interesting and fascinating way, and I feel like because of that, I just love it so much.
I think I was gonna watch it last October, and then I didn't. I think that was something that I was gonna watch last October. And then
You
I
should.
forgot about it this October.
You should. It's only 70 minutes.
Yeah, it's 32. Also, it's 1932.
Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now for me, the most iconic film on this list probably. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho.
Yes, Dubs. There we go.
It's not insanely high. I'll admit it's it's pretty high. It's number 18. That's high enough. My third favorite Hitchcock film, I think. Yeah, I love this film a lot. I mean, it's kind of a film that I don't know what to say about it. Because Norman Bates, awesome. Cinematography, awesome. It's Psycho. Shower scene, awesome.
Yeah.
The score, phenomenal. It's one of those films that I can honestly see the argument for someone not liking it because it's not very deep. to me. It's kind of just like it's one of those films that like it's simply focused on the story, just like the mystery. But I think that's why it works so well. It's really tension filled, very well done. I love a lot of the ideas. It's not like a lot of things about it that's going for. It's just one of those iconic films that's just like, yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It's Psycho.
This movie is also on my list, and it is a lot higher than this, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Just know I have a lot to say about this movie, but I guess the only thing I will say before I talk about it is that ending. That ending, those last couple of words from Norman Bates in his head. Oh my gosh, that was god tier. There's literally nothing wrong with it.
I have nothing really wrong with it. I just give it a 9. I lowered my score to a 9 just because it's like, yeah, this isn't a 10 for me, but yeah, I like it. I still love it.
Okay, so the next movie, which surprise, surprise, is a vampire movie.
Oh my god!
Whoa, yo, it's crazy.
Vampire movies are awesome for the most part. Vampire movies that aren't Twilight are awesome.
Number 18 is going to be Fright Night.
Haven't seen.
You should, because it's not exactly like anything like Bram Stoker's Dracula or like the movie you were watching where it's like.
Is that the next one?
No, it's not. Dang it. I shouldn't have brought it up. Anyways, it's not like a movie where it's like about some sort of character where they're like, fighting their thirst for blood or anything like Vampire where it's just solely focused on like the tension and the atmosphere. It's a movie that's a lot more fun than those other ones, and I feel like it works to its advantage. It's still creepy. It still can be scary at certain points. It still has like a lot of blood and a lot of gore, and it still can be like it still like has a lot of serious moments. But then there's other times where it's just so funny and crazy and entertaining. It's like the perfect sort of horror movie. It's a horror movie that can be scary and can be tense at certain times, but it's also a blast. I saw it once, and it was a very long time ago, and I've just been meaning to rewatch it because it is so good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but that's why. Who made that?
Trying to see.
Tom Holland. Okay, I was like, why do I remember the name?
Yeah.
Oh yes, the director of Child's Play.
That's what he did before he was in the MCU. I love making that joke so much. It's so funny.
But yeah, I haven't seen it. So my number 17. This is a movie that technically.
Wait, we're on number 17? Oh yeah, never mind.
This one, I'll admit, this one's gonna be mentioned twice on this list because there's an original and there's a remake. I love both of them.
Okay.
Funny Games by Michael Haneke. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So I prefer the remake actually, but I love this one also, and I'll explain why I prefer the remake, even though they're kind of shot for shot. It'll make sense whenever I explain it. This film, phenomenal commentary on violence in media, kind of by being the anti-horror movie. Basically, horror movies, they like to show the gore, they like to show the tits and the fucking shit.
Yeah.
This movie purposely hides it.
Dang it.
They purposely hide it, but somehow it's even more disturbing because it's just what comes into your head, what makes you think is being shown. There's only one death scene that's completely off screen, but you can hear like the screams of people, of both people reacting, and just it's a really well directed movie. It's really creepy. I'll talk about it more when I get to the remake because they're basically shot for shot. But I feel like the remake does a tiny better job at getting the message across. And I'll explain why. They're both really. Haneke is a genius. He's a brilliant director. He knows how to do like really just off the wall and unconventional films. And he every film he's made that I've seen so far has been really like just meticulous, just very thought out. And Funny Games is a fantastic example of that. And it's not very funny, unfortunately, even though it's called Funny Games.
Misleading.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Okay. Well, It's hiding all the good parts of horror movies, so I don't know if I can watch it with that in mind. But yeah, maybe I'll give it a watch.
Anyway, you're 17.
Okay. My 17, which was spoiled by this idiot over here, was Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I think is better than the original Dracula movie, of course.
Haven't seen either.
Well, you should see this one because I thought it was pretty much a masterpiece in a lot of ways. But yeah, basically, I'm trying to remember who plays Dracula. Let me
Gary
look
Oldman.
up. Gary Oldman.
I saw it yesterday. I saw the Letterboxd thing yesterday because I was like, "Oh, that movie exists."
Yeah, but Gary Oldman plays him. He's fantastic as Dracula. I feel like he embodies everything about him as this old, creepy individual that's like has this weird certain charm, but also you can tell he's hiding something at the same time. He does such a good job at playing him, in my opinion. He's like probably the best part about this movie. Also, the cinematography is really good and all that. I feel like the main thing, though, the main reason why I love this movie so much is I love what they did with Dracula, because he actually has a motive in this movie and he has a backstory, and you understand his backstory and you understand him somewhat as a character and how he's kind of this broken person, but also at the same time, he's a monster. He's not a good person. He's not supposed to be perceived as a good person. He still sucks. He's still a horrible individual, but also at the same time, he's broken inside, and you can kind of understand his pain. And then I don't like Keanu Reeves in this movie. I don't hate him as much as most do, but also he's not very good.
He's not a good actor at all, really.
But like, whatever. But the thing is, in this movie, the way he tortures him in this movie, the way Dracula does it is so menacing and evil and diabolical, but also at the same time, it's so much more interesting than you ever see any horror villain torture their hero, because it's by, in a way, slowly ruining their life instead of just straight up murdering them, because he's taking the person that he loves the most away. He's trapping him in this whole place where all of these, all of his wives are sucking the blood out of him so he can't escape, and how he's trapped in this place where, yeah, it's a very sad movie. In a way, Dracula sort of wins, and I don't know if they're trying to perceive him as like someone that's broken or something. They kind of do that. In the end, I just ignore it. But overall, fantastic movie. Absolutely love it.
Have not seen it, so yeah.
You should. It's a great portrayal of Dracula.
So number 16, Black Christmas.
I have not seen this, but I've wanted to see it.
I love this movie. This is one of those. This is I think it's my favorite slasher film. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And it is just an absolutely great. It's both a great drama and a great horror film. The kills are great. They're not very gory, but they're very just like well directed. It's very well directed and very well presented. The acting's all great, from what I remember. It's just such an interesting, like, thought provoking film on how basically how women are treated and women's rights and stuff like that. That's actually like well done. Not like the remakes, but
oh my gosh,
there are 2 remakes and they both suck ass.
I've heard. Yeah,
but this movie's great. It's made by the director of A Christmas Story, and I hate A Christmas Story, so wow, I don't know what happened to this dude.
I don't know why you hate A Christmas Story. It's such a wholesome movie.
It's ass, bro.
It's not.
Black Christmas, fantastic film, very beautifully made, very creepy, disturbing. The sound design also is fucking disturbing as shit.
Oh my gosh.
That fucking the voice of Billy is horrifying. It sticks to your brain, and like it's just like the trailer for this movie is terrifying.
Really?
The trailer for this movie fucks me up.
I gotta see it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I've not seen it, but I've wanted to for a very, very long time and have not gotten to it yet.
Watch it this Christmas.
I will. I will watch it during Christmas.
Yes.
That'll be my favorite Christmas movie.
Screw It's a Wonderful Life. Screw all that stuff. No, watch this.
Exactly. That's the first one I'm gonna go to. Okay. Well, number 16 is Ethan's favorite. I mean, why did I say Ethan's favorite? Nathan's favorite movie of all time, Evil Dead 2.
I like it.
Oh, really? I thought you didn't like it.
I said I like the first more.
I know, but you just seemed like you disliked it because you kept talking about everything you
Yeah.
hate about it.
No, it's just that on this most recent rewatch, I found more problems. That's all. I still really like it. I love the gore, love Ash, love the cinematography, love all that stuff. Everything still is awesome. I just think that I just think that I kind of wish it was a little more authentic, like the first one is. And it's my least favorite of the trilogy, but I still really like it.
Well, this one is my favorite out of the trilogy because, you know, first one sucks and the third one's just pretty good. But then you get to this one, and this one is goated. You know, you got it. What I like about this movie is even like an introduction and them introducing everything about the whole world and how the rules and everything. It's so fun and energetic, and it feels just like it's like an adrenaline rush the whole way through. And I feel like that's what I was hoping the first one would kind of be. And it really just felt like the pacing just felt weird somewhat, is something I forgot to mention. But yeah, it just didn't work for me. But then you get to this one and it's like right away, right through the gate. It's exactly, you know, what I'd wanted. It's just carnage candy. It's crazy, insane bonkers off the wall. Ash is fully Ash. And well, at least I think he's fully Ash. It doesn't, whatever. He's still great in this movie. And it's just an insane, wacky, fun ride that I have so much fun with. It's not exactly a masterpiece or a perfect movie, but it really kicks ass. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. I just wish, like, I'm not the biggest fan of like how like I don't know. There's something about it that feels a touch too professional at times, at least in the first half.
I don't know. That's not what I got from it.
But yeah, it's still really fun. I mean, you gotta love Groovy.
Exactly. Groovy. The one-liners, oh my gosh. They just get to you.
I think Army of Darkness has better one-liners personally, but I'll get to that later.
That is true. Army of Darkness has a lot of really good one-liners, but I feel like when it comes down to it, I just thought the second one was way more entertaining.
Anyway, yeah, cool movie. Number 15 is another vampire movie. Let the Right One In.
Oh,
I love this one a lot. This one just like really, it's just such a well done like romance type, like disturbing romance type horror film with really great it's almost sad to watch. Like you're watching this poor kid who like falls in love with this girl, and like of course he wants to do anything for her, and then just like she starts basically killing people. And he starts becoming basically like a vampire, or like not a vampire, but like becoming like kind of start help almost like I guess if I remember correctly, he kind of like almost ends up helping her in ways, not meaning to, but like in like that fucking shit that happens near the end, in that final scene, like that final shot.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like the stuff at the pool.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah, and the fucking shit that happens at the. It's really disturbing and creepy. It's really freaky. It's weird, and I love it. I love the cinematography a lot. I love the kills. I think they're all very well done. It's really effective, and it's one of my favorite films of that year. 2008 was a great year. My favorite film came out that year. Actually, that's funny. But yeah, fantastic film. I have not seen the remake. I do not want to see the remake. I don't care if it's Matt Reeves. I get people who love him, but no, I'm not fucking watching that shit.
Okay, well, I have also seen Let the Right One In. I think this is the first foreign movie you brought up that I've actually seen. So
Really?
that's something. But yeah, I really did like this movie. In fact, I watched this one with my mom, and we had a really good time watching it. Weirdly enough. But
even with the scene where they like fucking, is it even like the scene in the bed?
I'm trying to remember.
There's a
It's
scene where like they get naked in the bed.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Like,
that was a little bit awkward, but beyond that, it's all fine. It's all good. The thing is, this one probably has like probably the best horror romance I've ever seen out of any horror movie. At least in my opinion, there's not that many good romance horror movies or anything like that. So I guess, this one is up there. I guess you'd say this is the best one or whatever. But like I really love the chemistry between the two of them. It's very interesting. They have very interesting exchanges, and you can really like sort of tell how they're very similar and how they're very different. And that scene where you can like tell like because you can tell the kids has some sort of the child,
Yeah.
the human child. He
Yeah.
definitely does have problems. He's definitely not exactly like perfect or anything like that. He definitely like has like issues
Yeah.
because of like the whole thing where he's like saying "die pig die" and he's like
Yeah.
holding that switchblade.
He's stabbing like the pole with the knife or something like that.
Yeah, and like when she's talking about that to him and he says, "Well, you kill people too," but it's like this whole idea of like she has to, like she has to kill people, and like he's just would want to if he could because he hates those kids so much, and it's an interesting dynamic. I feel like their relationship alone and their chemistry really is like the whole the heart and soul of this movie.
The scene whenever he hits the kid at the it was like a park or something like that. It's like the ice place, something like that. They like skating on ice, and he like hits him with the stick.
Yeah,
Like that was like it's so well done, and just slowly shows him like actually becoming a murderer, basically.
yeah.
At first, it's just like he has some violent thoughts now, and then she like encourages his violent thoughts.
Well, I don't know. Does she fully encourage them though?
It certainly gets worse as the movie goes on after he meets her.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is kind of true. I mean, he literally the vampire. She kills the bullies in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Not exactly helping.
Yeah. But yeah, fantastic movie.
Okay, so I guess I'll just move on to my number 15. I think it's 15, right?
Yep.
15, which is the best James Cameron movie, probably, Aliens. This movie I have not seen this movie in a very long time, and there's definitely a couple things that I don't really remember about it, but I do remember loving it, so I'm going to talk about it anyways. I love Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie. She was pretty good in the first one, but then you get to this one, and she gives an absolutely outstanding performance, and you really love her character. You love her as this person that's trying to be this caring mother towards this child that just lost her entire family and has lost everything. And you really want them to overcome everything that's going on. Also, the action is fantastic. The alien practical effects is fantastic. It's just a fantastic movie overall, and I absolutely love everything about it. Maybe Alien is like the better horror movie or whatever, but I'm ranking all these movies kind of just based on how much I love them as movies, not really as horror movies. And because of that, this is up here a lot higher.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I like the first one a lot more. I haven't seen either of them in very long.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, it's Aliens. I don't know what to really say about it.
Yeah, they're just both. The first two are just both great movies.
No, and then let's pretend the rest don't exist.
I mean, yeah, the Prometheus isn't awful, but then you get the Covenant, and it's just like, what is this? Actually, no, Prometheus. No, never mind. Prometheus is way worse than Covenant. I'm getting them mixed up.
Alien 3 is like horrible. I hate Alien 3 so much.
I've only seen the first two and the prequels.
Wow, good. These the one in between. The two in between are not good. I think. But yeah, number 14, another foreign film that I know for a fact you have not seen. Audition by Takashi Miike.
Kakashi. Naruto. I didn't know not one Naruto character directed a movie.
Yeah, Audition. Really crazy movie about a guy who basically. It's kind of funny plot from that. It's basically the guy. He wants to get a girlfriend, or
Oh my
wife or
gosh.
what. So
Oh my
basically,
gosh.
he pretends to be a director for a movie and gets women to basically come to a casting call where essentially he's like, hey, like he tries to interview them on things to try and get them to play a character in a movie that doesn't exist. He meets this one girl who's perfect for him
Mhm.
until things start to go wrong.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's very slow. It's insanely slow, but it's very
Mm.
worth it. I
Mm.
love
Well,
the
now I'm interested.
I love the cinematography. It's beautiful. The final act is insane.
Mhm.
Oh my god, it's traumatizing. Like it is.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, from audition and up, these are all 5 stars.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm almost there.
uh, and just absolutely like, just left me. It left me with my mouth wide open, just like, oh my god, wow. It was insane. It's very messed up and really just. It's insane. That's the best word to use for it. It's insane.
Okay.
Love it.
Well, now I gotta watch the movie because that sounds like a very interesting plot, and that guy sounds very desperate. So all the better.
I mean, I'm gonna have to start doing it too. What? I might have to start doing it too. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. No.
That's gotta be a
Go.
crime, right? That's gotta be like a crime, right? To
I
trick
think that's a crime.
to trick women into going like a casting call.
That has to be a crime.
That's gotta be like statutory rape or some shit, right? Like that's gotta be like some type of horrible. Like that's horrible.
Well, I don't think it's rape. I just think it's like manipulating in
Yeah,
some sort
that's
of
like.
degree.
I mean, like his intentions are very clearly like, yeah. I don't know.
They're very clearly bad.
Yeah, but yeah, he.
Okay, so number 14, a movie that maybe you couldn't consider a horror movie. Maybe you could. I don't know. Oh, my camera just turned off.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but anyways, while I'm fixing this, I'll just talk about it. But it's The Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know if people would consider this a horror movie or
I wouldn't personally.
well, but whatever.
I'm
Letterboxd.
gonna say this: if it was on this list, it'd be like number 2 for me.
Wow.
So, but no, I don't count it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is though, Letterboxd counts it, so.
Letterboxd doesn't count it.
I swear they count it. I swear they count it.
Hold on, no, they don't. I already checked this.
Oh. Oh, really? Well.
They don't. No, they count Wendell and Wild as one.
Okay. Well, I don't care. I'm counting it.
Okay.
This qualifies for me.
It gives me a chance to talk about it anyway because I love this movie a lot.
Okay, yeah, whatever. To me, Halloween movies and horror movies are pretty much the same thing as long as they have those sort of elements to them, But talking about the film, I absolutely love the designs. The designs are, oh my, the animation in general is so perfect. Like the stop motion stuff, it's so creative and so beautiful. And even though it's like almost 30 years old now, it still holds up so much and is better than a lot of stop motion now, in my opinion. The set designs are fantastic. What else? There's so many good things. The music. This has some of the best songs I've ever heard.
Absolutely. I was coming.
Gosh.
I rewatched it like a week ago, and so I had to go on vacation after I watched it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were packing, I was really humming the soundtrack.
Yeah. Well, anyways. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's so good in that aspect. I feel like it has this weird sort of interesting message that's, it's hard to really exactly, say what it is, but it's definitely there,
To me, it's like the idea. It's about like sometimes you have to like appreciate what you already have. Don't keep on chasing for like the new. Don't chase for love yourself for who you are. Love what's going on. Don't chase. Don't continue. Be sometimes the thing that you're looking for is already around you.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, because like in the end of the movie, he basically realizes, oh, I am the Pumpkin King. And, the thing I've been looking for has been right next to me all this time.
Exactly, like not trying to change for something different and new.
And that's what, and as someone and that really resonates with me a lot.
Hmm.
I love this movie a lot.
Yeah, and then it's like it's a perfect Christmas movie and Halloween movie, and I feel like any movie that's like Christmassy and Halloween in a way,
Mm-hmm.
those are always the best movies.
Yeah, like I can watch this. I'm gonna probably watch this again at Christmas time. Like I'm probably gonna do it.
Yeah. So, anyways, your movie.
Number 13 is Army of Darkness, my favorite Evil Dead movie. I love this movie a lot. It's my favorite Sam Raimi movie, and it is just an absolute blast from start to finish. I think the one-liners are better than they are in the second one. I think that Ash is at his just peak in this one. I love the comedy so much. I love the skeleton stuff. I love the absolute insanity. The filmmaking's great. It's got so much personality. I even like enjoyed the dramatic parts. I found Ash and his love interest very entertaining. Like they're not the most best thing ever, but like I still found them entertaining to watch.
Mm,
I found the characters very entertaining to watch. I love Evil Ash and all this silly shit that happens with him. Um, oh, I didn't mind like a lot of the humor is like Three Stooges humor, but I didn't mind it at all. Like I thought it was very funny and
mm,
very well done. I like that like some people complain that there's no gore in this. I thought that was fine. I thought like well that it works here. I feel like gore would feel out of place here. I
yeah.
think it works very well without the gore.
Mm, I'd say so. I
Eh,
don't know. It's fun. It's a fun movie. I just don't think it's as good as the second one.
I think this is the best of the trilogy, and just the best of, even counting the remake, best of the series. Um, just like even better than Ash versus Evil Dead. Also, um, it's just peak for me. It's exactly what I want from from like it just I don't know, like it's a silly. It's very silly and dumb, but it works very well. It's silly and dumb in a way that's fun, not in a way that's like bad.
Mm.
And
I
it really just understands what it is.
I guess that's fair. I just didn't see it as anything more than just a fun, pretty good movie. You know.
I also like how a lot of the jokes kind of poke fun at Ash as a character. Kind of like, he's like this narcissistic asshole, basically. And it really shows in this movie where it's like he doesn't give a shit about anyone and how that kind of hurts him in ways, but also how and uses very clever comedy in order to show it. It's one of my favorite comedies, one of my favorite horror films.
That's fair. That's fair.
What is your number 13?
Okay. Well, my number 13 is The Dead Zone,
Ugh.
which I know you don't like it, and honestly, it's not really that much of a horror movie. But remember, I'm ranking these on how much I like them, not about how much of a horror movie they truly are. And I feel like when it comes down to it, uh, Christopher Walken stars in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken, I feel like does a fantastic job at playing this character, and I feel like I love his character so much, and he really carries the movie for me as this sort of kind of tragic soul that kind of had his life completely taken away from him after everything that happened because he was in a coma for years and years and years, and now it feels like his life in a way is kind of like sort of ended, after everything that's happened because I don't know. It's just I feel like I just really like his character overall and like the way they portray it, and he's and the ending is sad, but also at the same time like it makes sense in a way. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain why I love this movie so much. I just do.
I just found it really boring and really silly and really just like it. Also, again, I really don't like Cronenberg's cinematography at all, other than like a few scenes here and there in this one. Even like his most recent stuff, I thought looked better. Well, he's not looked better, but at least gave it personality and was like made it stick out. Here it's just like, other than that one scene in the tunnel, which looks really good, nothing here was even nice to look at.
Mm.
Christopher Walken, he is fine. I found him really silly and dumb. I found it all really silly.
The thing is, though, for me, it's like the cinematography isn't a strength or really a weakness. I just really just it was just okay.
I don't know. Cronenberg frustrates me
Mm.
because like he has such interesting ideas, but the way he executing some of them aren't great to me.
I guess that's fair. I don't know. I feel like this is like one of his better movies, from what I've seen at least.
Is that all we have to say about Dead Zone? Or
Yep, pretty
oh,
much.
so number 12, another pretty iconic horror film,
What is it?
The Silence of the Lambs.
I've not seen this one, but
This
I
is
need to.
phenomenal. I love this movie a lot. It's just such a meticulously thought-provoking and just well-done movie. Anthony Hopkins' best performance, Jodie Foster's best performance, probably. Also, it's one of those films that just like the two main leads just play off of each other so well, and it's always so engaging. The mystery is very well done. It says a lot about society in ways, and says a lot about trauma and about how we want to have our voices heard, and what the strength, the lengths we'll go to in order for people to hear our voice. It's just such a phenomenal film, and it's so well done. I think the people who are starting to hate it because of how it doesn't age well or it's dumb. Because one, I don't think it's trying to be offensive. I don't think it's an offensive film at all. I don't think it's harmful. Sees this movie and thinks it's harmful. Anyone in this movie anyone who sees this movie and takes some type of like transphobic way of looking at it, we're like, oh yeah, this is why like are stupid. If you're using this movie, as a way to make validate your hateful opinions, that's stupid. I don't think that's what the movie's trying to do. I love a lot about the film. It's just one of those classics, it's one of those horror classics. There's a reason why it won. I don't like the Oscars, but I think this is one of the better, I think this is one of the best picture decisions they've had. It's the only horror film to win Best Picture, actually.
Doesn't surprise me.
And it deserves it. It's phenomenal.
Okay. Well, I've not seen it, and I've been meaning to, but I just haven't gotten to it. So, I'm just going to go to my number 12, which is a movie I watched last night, actually, for the first time ever. Scream.
Scream.
Yeah. I knew I was going to love this movie, and I was absolutely right. I fell in love with this movie pretty much the second I saw it, I'd say. Yeah, pretty much the second that I saw this. And maybe it'll get even higher the more I think about it. Maybe it'll get into my top 10 or who knows, top 5. But as it stands now, it is at number 12. And oh my gosh, that opening is probably like one of the best horror movie openings I've ever seen in my entire life. It's up there with Halloween. It's up there with Psycho. It's up there with Jaws. It is so perfect. It's so fantastic. It's like, in a way, that opening, it's like so normal. And then it's like the second you hear him say, like, what exactly what he's saying? But it's like, because I want to know who I'm looking at.
I think it might be what it was.
Yeah, but like when they're talking on the phone and he says, "Cause I want to know the name of who I'm looking at," because they're on the phone, right? It's like you don't see them, and then it's like it's just suddenly, as soon as like that whole little thing happens, you start to feel this sort of anxiety, this sort of fear, this sort of tension, and then it's like, and then he just starts to slowly become a more uncomfortable and a more terrifying situation. And the voice, oh my gosh, the voice that they use for him is terrifying. This whole idea of the killer being on a call and not being able to see him for most of the movie. It's that opening scene alone. I could do a whole video essay on it, and I might, because it's so good.
Scene.
Yeah, and then like even once you slowly get into like other parts of the movie, it's so terrifying, and there's this looming anxiety of it all. And I know most people always talk about like the whole movie idea about like how it's so unique in that, and it is unique in that aspect, but a lot of it for me is about the tension and the fear. But then of course, you get to the twist, which I don't know, should I spoil it or should I, or
don't spoil it?
Yeah, I won't spoil it, but basically it's a very interesting and fascinating twist, and seeing that whole thing play out and how it like it's sort of like a commentary on like sort of how horror movies can affect people a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a lot about that, I feel like, and that whole concept and idea. And of course, taking into the fact that these are people that are educated about, horror movies, and like just being aware of that it's interesting. It's very
Yeah,
interesting.
it's really fun.
It's just such a new and interesting way to make a slasher movie.
hmm So, my number 11 is The Carnival of Souls.
That high?
Yeah,
I like it, but that high?
I absolutely love this. Um, it was just like most like just. I rarely get like super surprised by twists. This one actually got me. I
Wait,
don't know why. Like it feels like I should have known, but I didn't. And that's one of the things that really got me with this. It's
I
also
can't.
just one of those like just it's so tension filled and so well done. The cinematography is gorgeous. The way everything is put together is just so brilliantly put, like, well done. It's brilliant. It's just it's terrifying. Also, I genuinely found myself like really almost like wow. Um, it blew me away. I'm gonna be honest. It was like wow. I didn't expect it to be this high. I didn't. I went into expecting like oh it's gonna be like a 7 or an 8. I expected 10, but I got a 10 out of it. I'm like wow, this is something else.
Hmm.
Um, it's one of those films that maybe it isn't exactly perfect, but I love it a lot.
Hmm.
And just what it does, and just there's just something about it that's just so like unnerving. Um, and I love kind of the low budget feeling of it. There's only a few sets in it, and it actually works very well. It's just fantastic. It's the only movie by this director also that's like feature length. Everything else he made was a short film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, I saw the movie once a while ago, and I thought it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it, but it definitely wouldn't be up here. But maybe I gotta rewatch it now because, like, maybe I just expected a pretty good movie, and that's like I don't know.
I mean, I actually did a pretty good movie. I got a masterpiece. I don't know.
Mm. Yeah, but yeah, I remember it being a really good movie. Haven't seen it in a while, but I remember liking it.
What's your number 11?
All right, this is where the masterpieces start to come into play pretty
All
close.
right.
This is like the only, like, honestly, this is pretty much a 5-star. Maybe I'll change it to a 5-star eventually, but this is Jaws.
Yes.
And yeah, Jaws, maybe my favorite Spielberg movie. It's close. It's up there. It's definitely up there. But oh my gosh, this movie just blows you away with the fantastic camera angles. The opening tracking shot is absolutely phenomenal. The opening scene in general is fantastic. I love the way, they do that. The tension is probably some of the best crafted tension of all time. The way it slowly builds up, especially on the ship, and all of that going on. It's the score, obviously top tier. It's one of the best horror movies or thrillers ever made, and yeah, everyone loves it. Everyone knows why it's fantastic.
Yeah. It's Jaws. It's Jaws.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece.
All right. My number 10 is a movie that I've here. Okay, so technically I've already mentioned this.
Hmm.
This is going back to what I said earlier. It is the Funny Games remake.
Uh,
So here's the thing about both of these movies. The original film, if I remember correctly, was supposed to be made in America,
hmm.
but he couldn't do it. So in 2007, he got the opportunity to remake the film shot for shot in America. And for some reason, it almost feels like this is the movie that was supposed to be made. And I love the original, but something about this one hit me more. It was like something about like the message of violence in the media hit me more in this one. Because
Mm.
one, it makes more sense. Because like America especially loves like the violent horror movies.
Hmm.
All that stuff. Then you have the fact that the two main actors are big actors. And it makes them feel like an anti-horror movie. You have the big actors. You got a pretty familiar idea: people break into the house and torture the family. You know, then you have the little stuff that is different. It's not satisfying at all. The film is meant to not satisfy you. It's meant to be like these usual horror films. You have the final girl. You got the gore. You got all that stuff gone. Instead, what you're doing is you're watching a family be tortured for a good hour and 40 something minutes. They're just being slowly tortured and killed off. There's a child in this movie, and what happens to him is fucked. It is horrifying. And like the two main actors are, I think the acting's better in this one too. It's like it takes things that I already love about the original, and then just it improves them even more than I even thought they could be improved. It is an absolutely, and it's like it's shot for shot for the most part. But even then, there's subtle little differences that Hanukkah put in there to like change it up and almost make it to where maybe another idea that he's going for is that you can't fully remake something, because when you try to remake something will always be different. For example, with different actors. This movie feels alive. It feels like it's like trying, it's such a thought provoking and just excellent film. I love Hanukkah. I want to see more films from him. I've seen like 5 of his films so far, and every single one of them has amazed me. I love him.
Okay. I've not seen the movie, so I do not have any comments. So, yeah. So my number 10. Oh gosh, sorry. It's just I've been sitting here for like 2 hours.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, my back hurts. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the next movie I'm going to be talking about is the original Frankenstein, which is it's just that good. It's just so good. You'll hear me talk about the sequel pretty soon, but this movie is like one of those classics that for some reason in the film community isn't talked about as much as it should be, even though I don't know, it just isn't talked about as much as it should be. I feel like every single line, every single scene is iconic and interesting and exciting to me. Maybe it's because I've seen it so many times, but it's a movie that I just am so weirdly relaxed when I see it because of how familiar I am with it in a way. I don't know. But I love the guy who plays Dr. Frankenstein. I can't really name his name right now, but he does such a phenomenal job at playing him. And of course, there's the iconic scene where the monster comes to life.
He's alive! It's alive!
It's alive! It's alive! Now I know what it feels like to be God.
Fantastic! Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, you have the monster, played by Boris Karloff, who is fantastic at playing this. You don't really know him very well in the first one. I feel like in the first one, it's more like you're supposed to be scared of him, but also you feel like maybe he doesn't really have exactly bad intentions. It's very interesting how they portray that. The cinematography is pretty good. I really like the atmosphere. It's very uncomfortable. It's very creepy, and it just works very well. But yeah, what a great movie.
It's really good. Movie. I really like it. I don't. It's not like phenomenal, but I really like it.
That's fair.
My number 9 is Black Swan by Darren Aronofsky.
You just like it because Natalie Portman's on
it. No, I'm not Dominic.
That's like the only reason he likes that movie, I'm pretty sure.
Probably. But no, anxiety-inducing trip. Just like Darren Aronofsky is a fantastic director, and he really knows what to under your skin. Requiem for a Dream is also phenomenal at it. Requiem for a Dream is probably my favorite from him. This is my second favorite from him. It's like a great look, like how women are treated in the this art, just in art and in the here in dancing. You have the creepy as fuck art dance teacher played by Vincent Cassel, Vincent Cassel is insane. God damn. almost every movie he's in, he's like always like this crazy, like fucking like asshole. And he's really good at doing it. This editing is all fantastic. It's really just like insane. The final act of this movie is just like fucking nonstop. It is nonstop, just insanity, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop until like the final few minutes. And the final few minutes are also fantastic. I don't want to say a lot about it because I think you should go in pretty blind, but it's pretty phenomenal.
Maybe I'll see it sometime soon. Sorry if I wasn't like paying attention the whole time you were talking. I just was stretching because.
It doesn't mind. I don't mind.
Okay. But yeah, maybe I'll see it eventually.
Mhm.
My number 9 is going to be a movie that is so underrated. Probably the most underrated horror movie on this list.
What?
Sweeney Todd.
Oh yeah, cool movie. That was in my honorable mention.
Yeah, oh my gosh, this movie's so good. This movie, it actually might be my favorite musical ever, which shows you how much my taste is and how much of a Burton fanboy I can be sometimes. But of course, the set designs are absolutely fantastic and out of this world. I love the music. The music is top tier in my opinion. And then of course you got Johnny Depp, who does such a great job at playing this very weird, interesting character. I don't know. The world is so fascinating to me. It's so weird and it feels so distant from how our world works in a way. Like the way, it just all functions. It just feels so unique and different and you just want to explore it so much. And then there's the ending. Oh my. Then there's the ending, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's just so creative, fun, and it's just something only Burton could create, in my opinion. And I just don't understand why people don't appreciate it more. I feel like it's a movie that deserves more attention.
Yeah, I love this movie a lot. Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I put my honorable mentions. It was also my favorite film at some point, actually, like way back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love this movie. I love this movie a lot.
Hmm.
And now it's just a really cool musical. I really enjoy it. Basically everything you said. I love how depressing it is. Honestly, just like you really feel bad for him, Sweeney. Like it's hard to not feel bad for him, even after all he's doing. Like you almost understand why he's doing it.
Exactly. You just kind of get it in a way. Like even though he's like being so intoxicated, you understand it.
Yeah. So my number 8 is Climax by Gaspar Noé. This movie fucked me up. I was in like a bad mental state after like a few days after watching it.
Damn.
This shit fucked me up.
Oh my gosh.
It is 97 minutes of just nothing but watching people slowly be torn apart. Not even slowly torn apart, really. It's how these dancers who end up going to a kind of like a party type thing before they end up doing the dancing things.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, someone spikes the sangria, and everything falls apart. People start fucking just killing each other. They start doing a ton of crazy shit. They're having sex. One person brings their little kid, and their little kid gets stuck in a room, and they can't get him out. And that ends horribly. There's a scene regarding one character that literally traumatized me. And like anytime I see it, it's just like, oh my god. The first few minutes of this film it's a slow movie when it begins, but then it just like starts going insane. It's self-indulgent in a way because Gaspar Noé is self-indulgent. He likes to have like his spinning cameras and he likes to have them go on for very long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's very entertaining almost to watch. I love his Gaspar Noé is an asshole, but I love him for being an asshole. Like he has that just likability. There's a poster for this movie where it's like where it's like talking about all his movies, and people hate his movies. Like there are people who hate his movies. Like you despised this movie, you hate this movie, you do this, you hated this movie, you hated this movie. Well, get ready for this movie. Get ready for my next one.
That's
so
you'll
funny.
hate it
even more. off of the hate. He loves it, and this one
That's-
definitely shows that. It's beautifully shot. It is just a trip. I'm scared to rewatch it because just how traumatizing it is. It's one of those 5 stars that's just like I want to rewatch it, but I'm scared to.
That makes sense. I haven't seen the movie, but you always like pick like the wildest movies.
It is. The next one's pretty wild too.
Oh god, I can't wait. Okay, so for me, the next one, my number 8 is the sequel, The Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh.
Now, this movie, it's definitely like a lot less of a horror movie than the original. The original was more like sort of about the monster, and it was more focused on like the monster killing people. But in this movie, oh yeah, also I forgot to mention in that the first one, there's not a single note in that movie, and it's still so tension filled. But anyways, second one. This movie I feel like is a lot more of like a character study on who Frankenstein is, sort of, or like the monster, of course, not really the guy, but the monster, because a lot of the first one was focused on Frankenstein himself. But then you get to the monster, and it's like that whole bit with the blind person was like heartbreaking and so sad because like he starts to learn how to talk and everything, and it's like, like you kind of feel sort of happy for him because he finally feels, happy, and like he finally like feels somewhat at peace, and like you start to understand him more as a character, and you start to understand how he's like angry at Frankenstein for creating him in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Because of like he doesn't really want to be alive, he doesn't really want to be here, everyone's afraid of him, everyone fears him, and he would rather be dead. And then there's this whole thing about how they're going to create this whole bride for him, like someone that he can actually love, and he's actually happy, and he's like actually like excited to meet this person. And then the fact that the woman is terrified of him is it's so sad because
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, you should though. And it's like this. It's the fact that it makes them think, or like sort of realize that it doesn't matter like what they create. Everyone will always fear him, and it's a really tragic story. It's so depressing and heartbreaking, and yet it's so amazing. I love it. It's a great movie.
All right. My number 7 is Possession. This is a crazy as fuck movie, man. I watched it this month. This is my favorite movie of the month I've seen so far. New movie I've seen.
Okay.
It as in like first time watch. And it is an insane experience from start to finish. Sam Neill, I think this is his best performance. It is basically about this man and a woman. They're having marriage issues, and the woman basically starts cheating on the guy, and he's like, and so he hires a private. It's kind of like Vertigo.
Really?
He hires a private investigator to stalk her, and then he starts realizing that there's more, there. Well, this film cranks it up to 11. It is insane.
Oh no.
It's a screaming. There's a lot of scenes like they're basically being like driven mad. They are Sam Neill and Isabelle Adjani are who is also in Nosferatu the Vampire. Just like they both just like slowly just go mad, and their performances are insane. There is regarding a train station that is gross as fuck. That is just horrifying, and that like it will make you gag and throw up. It is appalling, and it's fantastic. And it's really thought provoking and just insane, and the cinematography is phenomenal. This movie looks great. Like it has so many like crazy cinematography choices and just insane looks. It is so well done. The effects look great. It's slow. it's slow and it's not slow at the same time. Like it's slowly paced, but
Mhm.
happening in the slow pace is insane. Like it's just absolutely phenomenal.
I think I get. I think I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Also,
But,
it has some of the most sus posters I've ever fucking seen in my life.
oh my gosh.
Dude,
I,
like, have you seen the posters from this movie?
let me see. It's called Possession, right?
Yeah. Like the first poster is literally like her naked like back.
81.
Yeah, 81. And
Okay.
there's another poster where like it's like shows like her tits.
Oh my. Wait, that's the poster.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I think I see the poster for it. It's just like a hand coming out of a woman's mouth.
No. And this is one poster. If I can show it, this is one poster.
Okay, let me see this. Let me see this. They probably made a lot of money off of that.
Hold on, but there's another one. Here's another one, and I don't know if I should. I'm gonna try to like cover up the part that's gonna get this like demonetized.
Exactly. Like cover up the stuff that's.
But like I'm covering her.
Yeah. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be fine. It should be fine.
Yeah. So
Oh
I'm
my
covering up
gosh.
her.
Sounds like my
Like,
kind of
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, my kind of movie. It's insane.
Okay, well, I've not seen it, but I guess I'll just move on to my number 7. Yeah, 7.
Yep.
Okay, well, my number 7 is going to be the 1978 slasher classic, Halloween.
Ah,
Yeah, I watched this movie. I think, what did I watch this? I watched this movie
we talked about it.
Yeah, I watched this movie in like August, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
May.
And May, whatever, same thing. But anyways, I watched it, and oh my gosh, I have been waiting to watch this movie for so long, and now that I've finally seen it,
Mhm.
I want to own it, and I just want to watch this movie so many times. I love the opening. So the opening is perfect. It really is. Like the point of view, the breathing, it's just perfect in every single way. And then of course you get to everything else that feels so tense and terrifying, and you just don't know, what to do. I feel like when it comes down to like it's such a pure horror movie in a way, because the whole movie is just based on tension and fear, and it's so perfect at doing that. It's so simplistic, and it's just so good at that. Also, the actor that plays Michael Myers, great. The cinematography, fantastic. Just a great movie overall, masterpiece.
It's Halloween.
Exactly. It's got the name of the holiday in the title. It has to be fantastic.
Yeah. Number 6 is The Lighthouse, which is my favorite Robert Eggers film and just like masterpiece. I mean, it's been talked about, all over. Phenomenal cinematography, phenomenal performances. It's so weird and crazy. It's slow, but it's just so interesting to watch. It is one of the best horror films ever made. I mean, like, and probably, I think my favorite horror film of last decade. Yeah. It is an absolute insane experience, and it's slow, but it's just like it's so interesting and so well done. And the amount of attention to detail put into like everything is crazy. The camera lenses are literally camera lenses from like back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, they use actual camera lenses from like 1930s, 40s.
Wow.
The dialogue is based off of actual like notes made by sailors at the time, or like at the time period that it takes place in. They like built the entire thing, the entire lighthouse from scratch too. I think there's so much like work was put into making it. It's phenomenal. Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, both their best performances, I think. And they play off each other very well, and I think that it's just all fantastic. I love it.
Well, I've not
It's
seen The Lighthouse, but I will eventually see it, maybe.
Mhm.
Okay, so next movie that we're going to move on to Is number 6 my favorite Carpenter movie, The Thing.
Ah.
Oh my gosh, The Thing, The Thing, The Thing, The Thing.
You know what? Hold on. Okay, so we may as well just. Yeah, that's my number 5.
Oh, we could
Yeah.
just both kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Thing is just, it's so fantastic.
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
make you. I'm gonna make you jealous right now. I
How?
saw this in theaters.
Oh, you monster. You absolute monster. How dare you? How dare you?
It is phenomenal. That was a phenomenal
It is.
experience.
I know. Like, oh my god. The practical effects in that movie are so good. Like, they're some of the best. They're probably the best practical effects in any horror movie ever.
Probably. It is just best, well directed, insanely written. It's John Carpenter's best. It's his. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. It's him at his best. It just is. Like,
Yeah,
when it comes down to it. Kurt Russell's fantastic. The tension is fantastic.
best cinematography of any of his films are just like absolutely beautiful. It's just so well done.
Well, cinematography I give to Halloween, but beyond that, but still really good cinematography.
Look,
The score.
you see that shit in a theater, okay?
Fine, I will. I will then. Shut up. Leave me alone.
Spirited Away's in theaters right now, actually.
Yeah.
That's reminded me. But yeah, just like masterpiece.
Exactly.
What's there to say? I mean, it's the thing. It's like
Yeah, it is.
and pretend the prequel doesn't exist.
The prequel is so bad. That movie is such absolute garbage.
It is. But yeah, this is phenomenal. 10 out of 10. I mean, it's the thing.
Agreed.
It's just perfect.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, yeah. It's the thing.
Exactly. What are we supposed to say? Okay, well, I guess that goes back to me again, to my number 5, which is Racerhead. You don't like it, do you?
Just
Okay, so we're not talking about, a masterpiece of cinema. So basically, how do I even talk about this movie? It's hard to talk about this one. I saw this title of a video essay saying how it's like waking up from a nightmare, and it's like a nightmare that you can't wake up from. And I didn't see the video, but now the more I think about it, and the more I think about the movie, that is absolutely what it is. It is this weird, crazy nightmare, dreamish sort of thing that you just can't wake up from, and it just gives that experience and that whole vibe. And it's so interesting to just watch. I feel like that, because it really gives off the vibe of like a weird dream, and I feel like that's just very interesting to me. The cinematography is fantastic. The practical effects are great. And it's so weird and uncomfortable, and it does such a good job at making you feel that way, and making you feel this weird and uncomfortable atmosphere that's going for it. And also, you could say that there's some sort of themes about parenting and having a kid that is like, and like trying to accept, your child that you birthed for their differences. It's sort of there, sort of not. You can take it or leave it, but I'd say it's like kind of like a bonus, But yeah, overall, phenomenal movie, absolute masterpiece. Love every second of it. I knew. Oh god, I knew you hated this movie.
I didn't hate it, but I tried to give it another chance. I did. I rewatched it this week, and I just cannot get into it. I don't know what it is about it. I love the cinematography. I love the technical aspects so much, but there's something about it that's just like, it's like I cannot get into what Lynch was trying to do here, or like I don't know. There's like I found it very boring and very like hard to really get into. It was it almost picked up at like a certain point, and then it went just back down. And it was like, whoa, well, okay then. And it's like, at first I thought, oh, maybe I just wasn't experienced in film enough when I first saw it, and that's why rewatching it, I will be able to, enjoy it more. I just simply don't love it. Like, that was like my rewatch was just like, yeah, this is just simply not my. I don't know. like I love weird movies. I just talked about like a ton.
Yeah.
There's something about this, just like there's something about it that's just like it almost feels like it's lacking something for me. I don't know what it is though. Like, I don't even know what's missing. I don't know what it is that I don't love about it. It's just one of the things where it's like this just does not do it for me for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's because like you just don't like find it entertaining, which is fair to me, you know.
Like I love Mulholland Drive, and I really liked Blue Velvet, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's not like the most entertaining or crazy rewatchable movie for anybody, you know. I can get that. I can understand that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I prefer my horror films to be a lot more expressive, like climaxes or like possession ones, where it's just like this off the wall insane. And this movie definitely does that, but it's also the tone that almost feels a tad held back. I don't know. Like it's not like it's. I found it more awkward than uncomfortable, and I didn't really get into what it was trying to do. I don't know.
I, I mean, I don't think it really has like I don't know. I feel like the whole dream thing was like my sort of interpretation of it that I found because I didn't really have a pure interpretation of it at first. I just kind of thought, oh, this is something I really love, and then I saw the title of that video, and I'm like, yeah, it is really kind of like that, you know. And then I just kind of went from it from there. But like, I get if you don't like it. I understand people that don't like it. It's hard to get into. It's weird. It's feels slow at certain points, but it's just something I just personally love.
I would say it's less that I don't like it, and more just that I can't get into it. It's not that I don't like it. It's fine. It's just that I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyways, what's your number 4?
My number 4, we actually talked about this movie already because it was on your list. Way back on your list too. Shaun of the Dead.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that high.
That's a big gap. That's a really big gap.
I love this film. This is my favorite. This is my favorite Edgar Wright film. Actually, this is my favorite horror comedy. This is a film that I resonate a lot on a personal level. The whole thing with Sean and his girlfriend really resonates with me a lot. And even his friendship with Ed resonates with me a lot. I love of course, I love the comedy. I love the gore. I think it's fantastically directed. Honestly, there's so many like fun and unique things that only Edgar Wright could really think of.
Yeah.
Like this is Edgar Wright. I think this is Edgar Wright at his best.
That's fair.
Kind of like the fucking what's the song name? Why can't I remember the song? I literally thought about it like a week ago. The scene where they're beating up the zombie and it's going to the music.
Oh, I can't remember it. Oh,
yeah, it's by Queen. It's by Queen, I think. Yeah, and like that's such a great scene there. That's such a well directed scene. So like, that took precision. That took like coordination, and took I love that too. I love the comedy. I love the little horror movie references, like the reference to Night of the Living Dead and stuff like that. There's a ton of references to that, and it's a film that this is a film. Edgar Wright said it himself. This isn't a parody. It's a film made by someone who loves horror movies, who's making a comedy.
Yeah,
this is made by, and like just, I think the portrayal of Sean's issues is pretty accurate for what it is. Kind of the idea of like you need to get on with your life, kind of about moving on and getting a life, and it resonates with me a lot as someone who's a teenager and who's trying to figure out who he is, and who's trying to move on from things, and who's trying to get through things. It's one of those films that just personally resonates with me a lot. I think it's his most emotional film. Or maybe the World's End, which is also pretty emotional. I think it's just such a sweet movie, but also such a fun and crazy movie. It's my favorite horror comedy, one of my favorite comedies. It's awesome. I love it.
That's fair. That's I consider that to be pretty fair. It's just I really love the movie. It's just like not up there for me,
Yeah. It's not going to be up there for. I mean, this is quite. I'm wrong because there's some people who like adore this movie. Like this is pretty beloved, but yeah, just to me, this is Edgar Wright at his best.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I guess, anyways, we'll just move on to number 4, which is for me a movie that you talked about way back. Also,
Damn.
Is Psycho.
Yeah,
it is number 4, favorite Hitchcock movie, best by far. Vertigo is pretty great, but like just not as good. Just doesn't hit the same, you know.
Virgo's my favorite.
I get that. I can understand that, but it's just not mine. But when it comes down to this movie, it's psycho. It's psycho. You know, it's the score. Oh my gosh, the score is so fantastic. Of course, you have the phenomenal performance by Anthony Perkins of this sort of awkward guy that you can definitely tell is there's something very wrong with him. And there's of course the great cinematography, and then the twist. Oh my gosh, the twist was so great. And then that ending scene with him talking about like how the fly or whatever, that whole thing where he's talking about how they think that he's not going to even swat this fly because they think that he'd be so innocent that he wouldn't swat a fly.
Yeah.
Great. Everything about this movie is so perfect.
It is.
It's just perfect in every single way, and there's nothing I can say that's wrong about this movie at all.
It like I said, for me, it was like, oh, I just give it a 9. I lowered it to a 9 just because it's one of those films that doesn't. It's one of those films that I love, of course. It's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I lowered it to a 9 because it's like there's other films I love more that I give it a 9 that I wouldn't give it a 10. So yeah, I'm gonna give this one a 9.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was like, yeah, this one's a 9. I love it though. Nothing I can really say against it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
My number 3 is a film that you had at a 10 at some point, but I saw you lower it to like an 8.
Oh, which one?
Rosemary's Baby.
Oh yeah, I really overrated that movie when I first saw it. It's really good though. It's still a good movie.
I love this film a lot. This is my favorite Polanski movie. Polanski's a director who I wish I hated.
Because he's such a scumbag.
Yeah, but I gotta be honest, I respect him way too much as a filmmaker. He knows how to create these just so like well done stories. And this film I think is just him at his peak. You have a phenomenal mystery with these really great characters. He knows how to write these really great characters. Like they're all very realistic and enjoyable. I never found anything to be dated about it. Even the acting, which yeah, sure is a little bit dated, but I didn't find it like a problem. I still believe these characters. It's just it's a slow movie, but it never once felt like it was slow. I was interested the entire time. The final few minutes are horrifying. And it's not even a film that like shows a lot. You know, it's more what's implied, and it's just absolutely terrifying. So much crazy, insane content, subtext and concepts that are just executed wonderfully. Cinematography is fantastic. I love the way Polanski kind of has a lot of his films take place in like apartment buildings. And he knows how to use them very well. He knows how to like use blocking and direction in a very interesting way. And he knows how to really just create this atmosphere. Like he knows how to like get you to be familiar with the area in a way that's just so engaging. And it's just fucking what's her name? Mia Farrow as Rosemary Woodhouse, phenomenal. There's a remake. I mean, there's a sequel to this movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it. I also heard it's
horrible.
garbage. Yeah, you've told me about this one before.
Yeah, and that made me appreciate this one even more because it's like it's like that movie's like the opposite of this one, and you know that movie has to explain everything to you and everything. This one lets things just lets you find out things for yourself, and it trusts its audience, and it's one of its most iconic, and I think it's basically a perfect horror film. It's scary, it's well done, it's just absolutely fantastic. And I wish Polanski wasn't such a piece of shit because he had so much potential.
Oh, sorry, that was my alarm. That's what. Just turn off. Sorry, that was one of my alarms. Sorry.
Phenomenal film.
I guess I'll talk about it. I really loved it until I kind of realized that a lot of the good elements of the movie come from the ending, which was so great, and then kind of everything else is really good, really well done. But I felt like a lot of it was like the ending that like made it how as good as it was. And I feel like when it comes down to it, it's not that I hate it. It's not that I
Yeah.
don't like it or enjoy it. I like it. It's just I didn't think anything crazy really stood out to me until the ending, which is why I'd give it like an 8 out of 10 or maybe even a 9 out of 10. You know?
I personally think that the ending is certainly the cherry on top, but I think everything else under that cherry, I guess would be the best way to say it, is still fantastic. But I would certainly the ending is like the highlight of it all. It
Mm.
makes everything else feel just like I see what you mean. He's like it's certainly a slow film, and the ending is certainly like it's such a high point to where it's one of those films where it definitely wants to leave you with an impression. It does that very well,
Mhm.
and just to me, it's just such a phenomenal film that basically I watched this before Easter also, which is probably a terrible time to watch this.
Oh my gosh, that is the worst time you could have possibly watched this movie.
My grandma watched it when she was pregnant.
Oh, that's a very interesting time to watch it, I guess.
I yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
Okay. Well, now that that's out of the way, I guess it's my turn again. For number 3, which is a movie that you probably have heard me talk about it endless times, and I will talk about this movie until I die. It is Carrie.
Carrie.
Yes, I absolutely adore this movie way more than most people, and I think that it deserves so much more appreciation than it is ever given. Sissy Spacek gives a fantastic performance as this person that you just want to have like a happy life. You just want them to be happy because even while she is technically the horror villain of the story, I mean, you could say the mother's more of the villain, but like
Yeah.
she's the one killing people. Um, she's so innocent and kind and such a nice human being that it's like you want to root for her and you want her to be happy, but you also know the inevitable. You know how the story goes. You know it's not a happy ending, and you know that it just ends in tragedy. And I feel like tragedies are like some of my favorite horror movies like this because it's like I don't know, they just work for me for some reason. And this is definitely like one of them because it's like you finally see her happy, and when she's happy it's like it makes you feel good. You want her to have a good life, and then that scene where the pig's blood is
Yeah.
poured all over her could be seen as like just kind of an embarrassing scene, but it's heartbreaking and just in a way sort of terrifying.
Mhm.
It's weird how they're able to pull that sort of stuff off. That scene is creepy and unsettling and tragic at the same time. They do certain things like that. They just don't know how they do. The stuff with the mother is great, and those last few scenes with her, it's sad, it's tragic. It has everything that I could ever ask for in a horror movie.
It's pretty great. Yeah, I don't remember a lot from it though. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I've seen it twice. One of them was around a year ago, I think. But I just remember everything about it, and I remember loving it so much.
Mhm.
Okay, you're number
My
3.
number 2, the
Oh,
Sigma
2.
male, the Sigma male movie itself, American Psycho.
I haven't seen it, but all
Phenomenal
applaud.
masterpiece. I mean, it's American Psycho. I'm gonna be dressing as Patrick Bateman for Halloween also.
Oh wait, do you still dress up for Halloween?
I'm
Like
still
trick or
gonna do it.
treating?
I don't trick or treat. I'm just gonna dress up.
Just cause.
We're gonna dress up. We're gonna go to someone's house, hang out.
That's fair. That's fair.
If they have candy, we'll hang them. We might like give them the kids something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah, like if we're I mean like it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still dress up and just have fun and do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like whatever. But yeah, so American Psycho, phenomenal film. I mean, it's like a perfect critique on like society, critique on
Society.
society.
I swear. Anytime.
You
Sorry.
we see it in multiple things: men, on capitalism, on just the way we respond to certain situations, how we want to fit in, how we want, and how what we will do to fit in. Patrick Bateman, probably my favorite horror movie villain or character of all time, just absolutely phenomenal. He's just this is Christian Bale's best performance to me. And just Mary Herron, she just does a great job of exploring his character. And it's honestly really funny too. Like it's a generally like really fun movie to watch. It's disturbing though. Also, it is so thought provoking and interesting. There's so many theories that surround it, and so many ideas that it's presenting, and it just executes them so brilliantly. And the cinematography is great. The way that there's also really interesting like ways that they decided to edit this film that are just so thought provoking and so well done. There's one scene regarding Willem Dafoe where they basically like had him do 3 takes in totally different like totally different not like personalities, but like there was one scene where they made him act like he thought this thing. There was another scene where they made him act like he thought this thing. I'm not going to spoil what it is. And another scene where they made him thought this thing. Then they spliced those scenes together to make it almost feel like you don't know what he's thinking. And it's like such a thought. There's so much thought put into this. Like it's not just the Sigma male, blah blah, whatever that people like to say it is. It's actually like a thought-provoking and well-done film. I honestly kind of hate the fact that it's become what it's become, because it's like now all people see it as memes and shit. Like and the memes are funny, they are, but like there's more to it than that. It's phenomenal.
I have not seen the movie, but eventually I'll watch it. Eventually,
It's been getting too much hate recently. There's a lot of people who hate it. I don't fully see why. I don't know.
It is what it is, Yeah. Okay, so now moving on to my second favorite horror movie, which used to be my favorite, but is not anymore, and that is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, I've talked about this one. It's the 30s one, by the way. I've talked about this movie a lot. It used to be my favorite, and let's just say a very unexpected movie came into the vicinity and became, well, in fact, my favorite horror movie. But
I think I know what it is too.
Oh, yeah, I think you do know what it is. But basically, talking about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the cinematography, oh my gosh, is it great. It's so good, especially for the 30s. It was way ahead of its time with the way they do certain things. The way they edit certain scenes, like the split screen thing, it feels so like different. You don't really see movies that ever did that in the 30s. And seeing a movie like this do that, it's very interesting. And I feel like it still holds up. Even with the practical effects, I'd say they still somewhat hold up. They're not insanely dated or anything like that. And they're still pretty well done. The makeup is really good. The transformation scenes, fantastic. I love the way they shoot them. It's so great. And also there's these ideas and concepts between good and evil and which are very interesting and fascinating to me. And this idea that everyone has like this side of them that is good and this side of them that is, sort of evil in a way, and the way and how it's like no one really truly is like one of them. They always have like a good side to them and good aspects about them, and then they have bad aspects about them, and it explores that in a pretty interesting way. It's a great movie. Love it to death.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. And I think we have the same favorite.
Oh my gosh, I think we do.
I think we have the same favorite.
You haven't brought it up yet. Which one is it?
The Shining by Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the same favorite horror movie. Let's go.
It is. Yes, this worked out perfectly.
I'm glad I picked you to do this with me.
Yeah, because if it was anyone else, it'd probably be like, oh no, if you got Dominic, he would still say The Shining.
Yeah, he would say The Shining. Yeah, we should have got Dominic on here with us.
Yeah. I mean, what is there to even say? It is The Shining. It is a masterpiece. It is perfect.
Well, let's
this is top 10 of all time for me. Like this
Yeah.
is like in my top 10 movies of all time. This is like the cinematography. My God, the best cinematography in any horror film ever. I you can't tell me another film that has better cinematography than this. At least horror wise.
Yeah, horror wise at least,
Yeah,
and of course there's so many iconic parts and elements to it, and it's like it's 2.5 hours and it doesn't feel like it at all,
it
surprisingly.
doesn't.
Like there's the whole slow motion blood scene with the
Yeah,
two little girls. Oh my, that thing's great. And then there's the tracking shot scene of
yeah.
like the when
And that was the first time they ever used that camera too.
yeah, and like it's like he's going from carpet to floor every time. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
like
And like
that. That's
you had
great.
that great sound design. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
And just Jack Nicholson's performance, absolutely phenomenal. Maybe
Yeah,
him and Kristen Bell and American Psycho go back and forth for my favorites, for like performance or even just character wise. The scene at the bar, especially,
yeah,
where he's talking to Lloyd. Um,
yeah. Wendy Torrance.
yeah, she's great too. I don't understand the criticisms. I don't understand the criticisms against her.
She's a little bit goofy sometimes. Like she's a little bit over the top, but beyond that, she's a great
I
job.
never found her goofy at all. I thought she was perfectly fine the way she was. I thought like it made sense for her character to be like over the top and insane with what's happening to her. Like she's literally like the shit she's seeing. If I saw that shit, I'd probably be the same way. Like it's insane.
I heard
Even-
someone make a really mean joke that saying that if I if Wendy Torrance was my wife too, I'd probably go insane as
oh,
well. Like if my
Danny
wife looked like that, then I'd probably go insane as well.
Danny Lloyd as Danny Torrance is great too. Like the kid's great too. He's like holy fuck. It
Oh my
is
gosh.
a perfect horror film. Like it's a perfect movie.
Yeah,
No,
it is.
I can't think of a single flaw of this movie. Every flaw I've ever seen, I either disagree with it or I love it because of what they don't like, or like
Yeah.
it's like fucking the hotel. You can never figure out the layout of the hotel, and it's done so well. Like
Exactly.
there's literally like so many interesting and weird things about it. So many theories and ideas, so many themes and ideas that it's handling on alcohol abuse, about just uh, um just so much. It's dense as hell.
Yeah.
It's just so the direction by Stanley Kubrick. This is his best film, I think, and I think it's like the best his one of his best directed. This the way he zooms in whenever something scary happens in just such a weird and like anxiety inducing way.
Yeah.
The way he like of course you have the tracking shot and you have so many memorable shots in this film. The shot of that fucking shot.
Oh, the helicopter shot.
Yes, of the fucking maze.
Yeah.
And like how he's looking, like they
Oh my
literally,
gosh.
oh my god, and how they literally like edited that to like edit them in the shot or something like that. Like they, to where it's actually like the shot of like the fucking maze on the table. That entire thing just looks phenomenal.
And then there's the opening scene.
The opening shot, yes, the
Oh my
entire opening
gosh.
sequence, like the camera's like tilting and all that stuff, and you got like the score is fucking phenomenal. The the ending is phenomenal too. I think some people say that the final shot's goofy. I only not the final shot. The shot of him like dead.
Yeah.
I don't think that's goofy at all. I think it worked very well.
Yeah, I think it all works great. Look, everything about it is just perfect.
And that final shot is chilling as fuck. Like this, it zooms in on the pictures. Then you get that shot of Jack Nicholson being in the crowd.
I love that scene where it's like he's. I love how like it shows how much of a scumbag that Jack was even before he went insane. Like that scene where he's like he intentionally tries to cheat on his wife with this other naked woman that's in the tub who turns out to be an old lady.
Yeah. Also, like you can tell that like he already had problems before him with stuff like with like Danny's arm. Like what happened to that where he yanked the arm and it
Yeah.
And like he tried like whenever he's drunk at the bar, he's like, it was not that big of a deal. Hey, you do it to any child, I would have done. I love him. It's like just so phenomenal.
Yeah, like you can tell he was a scumbag before he went insane. It's just the hotel let out what he truly was.
It's also kind of interesting how like there's the conversation they're having in the car where it's like, oh yeah, a bunch of people got trapped here and they cannibalized each other, where they ate each other. It's like that's kind of similar to what happens in the hotel. They
Somewhat.
get trapped, and then they start, or like Jack killing them,
Yeah.
and they end up having to fight each other basically.
I find it so funny that it's like, I guarantee you that will not happen with our family. And then everything happens.
Yeah. And also the dude, what's his name? Philip Stone. No, not Philip Stone. Scatman Crothers. He's great too. The cook, the chef.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's great too. That entire scene where he's talking to Danny and he's like, talking about The Shining. The Shining is also really great in how it's utilized.
Yeah, like it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more like used, like sort of like it's explained a lot more in the book, but like it's fine the way I explain it here. Like I feel like if they did what they did with the book, I feel like it kind of would have ruined it.
The book is bloated and really just like I could not get through it because it was like.
Yeah.
And like what I love about this one is that it kind of says "fuck you" to the book. It's like,
Yeah,
fuck you. No, this is a shitly written book. I'm gonna make my own movie.
well, I
where-
love the book. I like the book, but the movie's way better.
and like and that's usually people are like, oh no, it's the book that's better. No, this is easily that the movie's better. Like Stanley Kubrick just knew what he was doing, and every shot is a painting. Like every scene is it's like. I remember so much from this movie, even like the small stuff, like the dude, like the people who were like the dude giving the fucking bear giving the dude head, like
Oh my
like fucking like so much memorable moments. That's like just so creepy and weird and well done.
God. This is making me want to rewatch The Shining.
I might rewatch it tomorrow.
Uh,
for all
well, I think we should end it off here.
Yep, that was
Um,
our top 30. Technically, like more than that, he's in the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Horror movies of all time.
Mhm.
No one watched this, but I don't care.
I mean, people might rewatch it, maybe.
Yeah.
Just like as a background thing.
This was a lot of fun.
But yeah, anyways, if you want to check out Nathan's channel, I'm pretty sure I linked it. Yeah, I linked it. It should be there.
It
should be saved.
but I'm gonna start posting at some point. I have a video planned. I do.
Okay, well, good. Yeah. Well, apparently the changes that keep getting discarded, but eventually it will be there, and I'll try to make sure that it's there.
Mhm.
But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you've made it this far,
Mhm.
yeah, thank you. We'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys whenever I make something else.
Bye.